These pricks have failed me miserably.
Surrounded by pricks.
You stupid pricks!
Who are these pricks anyway?
Hello, and welcome to another installment of the greatest podcast of all time, the Prickast. If you're wondering who I am, it's because I wasn't here last week. In fact, I was very late last week. In fact, I didn't turn up at all. Nevertheless, I'm here now, so bloody well deal with it. Anyway, joining me this week, or this month, whatever, is GB, Go Bros, and UG Outlaw.
Oh, yeah.
It's Kane.
Wagwan Pifting, what's your BBM pin?
And we can get subtitles for that. And Red the 8-Bit Dinosaur.
Fuck off.
What's up?
And of course, I am the Gaming Jew. I literally just got dropped that I would be doing the intro. So thank you very much for that, gentlemen.
You're welcome.
I hope it didn't annoy anyone too much there with that intro. I was trying to be a good.
Yeah, don't worry.
I'll give you an 8 out of 10.
An 8?
Yeah.
That's probably more than I'm ever going to get for anything else. So thank you.
I'll give you 8.5 just to be higher than G.
Yes!
There you go. You did well on your spelling test today, Mike.
I did
I'm very
all right,
proud of
didn't
you.
I? I'm very proud of myself as well.
Oh, yes.
Can't wait to tell my kids about it.
Sure.
Nevertheless, what's going on? So everybody, what's going on with you guys? What do we have for the people today?
We got a few things. We're gonna talk about. Y'all are gonna talk about Warzone, and then
Yes,
some
sorry about that. You
Division
may
talk,
go to sleep.
and then some Kane's final thoughts about Star Wars Legos, and
Oh,
I may
yes.
talk some Monopoly and some other stuff as well. So who wants to go first? What topic should we throw on the table, gentlemen?
I suggest the person that didn't come to the first episode.
Oh, come on. You can't hold that over my head forever,
Yeah,
Red.
I agree with that idea. We'll make him go first for everything.
Yeah, poor Mike. He has to go. He has to do the intro, and he has to bring up the first topic.
Right. Well, I mean, yes, as you probably do know, I play a lot of Warzone. It's unfortunate, I know. For some reason, I'm addicted to it. But it's come to my attention that, as you know, in terms of strange crossovers, in the last year, Warzone has topped everything, really, in terms of weird crossovers. Now they're doing it again. Something to appeal to the 45-year-old action movie dads. So basically, Warzone is going to be implementing Godzilla and King Kong somehow. They're going to make an appearance during next month's Operation Monarch Warzone event. So that's interesting. I find it interesting primarily because I'm not really too interested in King Kong or Godzilla. I don't know if you guys are fans of those genres of movies, but I'm certainly not.
Yeah, I prefer Godzilla, but I just don't see what that has to do with World War II.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What is a giant monkey and a giant lizard doing fighting in World War II?
And another thing as well, like, what's Snoop Dogg doing in World War II? Why is he having
Yes.
tokes in the middle of Stalingrad, you know? What's
Exactly.
going on there?
Like, it's like they're trying to rewrite history. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense. You're trying to put yourself across as a legitimate battle royal game, and historically accurate up until a year ago when Nakatomi Plaza arrived and everybody was running around dressed as Judge Bloody Dredd. It boggles my mind. Now we've got King Kong and Godzilla. Look, I already run 20 frames per second on Warzone at the very best of times. Godzilla and King Kong running around on the island with me is going to reduce that to about 10 frames per second. I'm going to look like I'm playing the Sega Genesis again. That's what's going to happen.
Didn't they do Attack on Titan already as well?
Yeah, dude. Attack on
they
Titan
did.
was a skin that they gave away. Yeah, they didn't particularly do anything magnificent, but they gave a few skins and a couple of cool sword fighting, finishing maneuvers. But that's about it, really. Everybody goes back to certain. I've noticed with Warzone, the player base. For the you guys don't really play it, so the player base of Warzone is probably one of the most toxic player bases you'll ever find anywhere. And I'm talking more toxic than GTA. I'm talking more toxic than the say Red Dead Online community and all that. It's literally the worst place you could be. It's like somebody has picked all the dregs of society and all the potential serial killers and dumped them in one lobby, and then you have to run around and not be killed by them. And if you do get killed by them, God forbid, you should leave your open mic on because. My God, the amount of times people have run through my mother like a freight train apparently is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I remember, like, back in the day, before I got banned by Activision and their amazing anti-cheat software, I remember we used to run into those kind of characters, especially on, what was it, Modern Warfare's multiplayer. I remember those streams especially. We ran into some very interesting characters on those streams.
My God, yes, I got shouted at by a 5-year-old kid who was Scottish.
Of course, he was fucking Scottish.
I don't know why I felt it relevant to point out that he was Scottish, but my only retort to that was, "You wear a skirt and your hair's ginger. Fuck off."
Oh, fucking hell.
It wasn't the best insult I've ever gone with, but I mean, you can't insult somebody on a video game, especially when you look like a Cheeto.
Cheetah.
Wow.
Come on.
I mean, to be fair though, I was playing Warzone for a while, right? And then I somehow managed to convince UG and Red to download the game and join me as well. And gentlemen, your experiences of Warzone aren't thoroughly entertaining, really, are they?
Yeah.
The only time that I ever found like Warzone remotely entertaining was when I did the stim glitch and I pissed off an entire lobby.
Oh God, I remember that.
Yes.
What was it? It was in October, wasn't it, of 2020 or November? I'm trying to remember.
Yeah,
when it
something
was.
like that. Yeah, it was when it became like super prominent. It was old Verdansk, wasn't it?
Yes.
Which,
yes,
by the way, is apparently
Yeah.
coming back in Warzone too. But God forbid, it's gone downhill since they took Verdansk out, in my opinion.
I mean, I remember back then there was like the DMR glitch as well, and everyone was being toxic. So it was like, hey, you know what? In order
If
to
you can't
combat
beat 'em-
toxicity, you gotta join them.
Exactly.
Put a stim up my ass and have a DMR in my other hand. There you go.
Yep.
There we go, boys.
I
Okay, now.
remember Warzone is one of those few games that I play just for the memes. I bring Jeffrey Epstein there as well with
Oh,
on
no.
Rise of
Yes, he
Humano,
did.
so now he's there as well. I remember, thanks to this guy right here, I got the first win by pure luck. I remember passing that to my cousins. I was like, "This guy's having a stroke. We should call an ambulance." But it's a really different experience. Well, when you play it ironically as I do, it's a different experience because you don't give a fuck if you get killed or not. It's like, okay, well, it is what it is.
GB, I suspect I know the answer already, but have you never even thought about possibly giving Warzone a try and seeing how you...
I've actually played Warzone, believe it or not, with Riley. And I think Kane and I played it, didn't we, a while back?
What?
No
Yes.
way!
A long
We played
time
that in
ago.
World
knew
War
that.
II.
But
we played that in World War II.
Yeah,
together,
World War
we did.
II. Yeah, we did both. And obviously, I'm trash at FPS, so I didn't do as well. Mainly, I just like to play the plunge,
Yeah,
plunder.
Oh,
That's
Plunder.
what it-
Yeah, collecting the cash.
Yeah, I prefer plunder way more than the standard battle royale of Warzone. Riley's way better at battle royales than me. I was more of a bullet sponge.
Yeah.
But I was good at
Human
collecting
meat
that
shield.
cash.
Which, funnily enough, I'm pretty good at as well. I don't know what's going on there. But your overall experience of it, though, I mean, it's obviously not something you wanted to return to.
Well, it's interesting because I have a fascination with battle royales since PUBG. I would never play it myself, but I do admire the people that played it early on because it was about more than just living and dying and death matches that you would expect from previous COD multiplayers or Battlefield. You had one life, and you had to be careful. You had to loot. You had to get ammo. You had to get the right weapons and loadouts. And you never knew when someone was creeping up on you. And that I found fascinating. And then we had Fortnite come out, and then it blew up and became a big to-do. And then, of course, before Warzone, we had Blackout for Blops.
Yeah, Black Ops 4.
Because you used to play that all the time, right, Kane?
Yeah, I used to play that a bit, and I can just say, the problem with, focusing mostly on Battle Royale, that's what killed Black Ops 4, because they took away a lot of their development from zombies and multiplayer, and they put it solely on Blackout, which the thing was, you had to pay to play Blackout. It wasn't free to play like Warzone is, or Fortnite. You had to buy Black Ops 4 to play Blackout.
Yeah.
Now, if it was free to play like Warzone, then you know what? Treyarch, Activision, you guys are geniuses for investing a lot of time into it. But the problem is, you had to cough up $50, $60 at the time to play the game. And if anything, it was just a Black Ops 4 multiplayer, but without specialist abilities, and it was really bare bones and no health regain as well.
Yeah,
So
that formula obviously doesn't work, and that's why Apex Legends is so successful along with Warzone, is because they're free to play.
Yeah. I would have to say I'm gonna go. I mean, I play Warzone all the time, right? So I guess my final thought would be about this whole King Kong and Godzilla thing. I genuinely, I'm not looking forward to it. But I'm going to continue to play because I enjoy it, and quite a lot of my friends play it, and you know, people come to my my channel and want to watch Warzone. Some people do anyway. So I'm going to play it because I enjoy it. That's the primary thing for me. I do enjoy it, as frustrating as it is, and as it pees me off. Bad the graphics are now than they used to be. I feel like it's just it's gone downhill in general. But I'm going to keep playing it because as we know, there is a second Warzone coming out, and I'm hoping that the mistakes that have happened in the first Warzone will be learned from, and the second Warzone hopefully will be a more elite player base of people who just enjoy the game and don't take it too seriously. I think that's an issue with
kind of like
Warzone.
me.
Yeah.
Like UG basically. So
I do
as long as Warzone 2, sorry, go on.
That's okay. I do have a prediction though about what Godzilla and Kong are going to be. They're just going to be in the background fighting. That'll be it.
I'm
That's probably going to happen.
That's going to ruin FPS for a lot of people, I would say. Like, in terms of frames per second, not first-person shooters. I feel like it's gonna kill people's frame rate, definitely, 100%. Just having them in the background, you know what I mean? It's like it's got bad frame rate as it is, especially if you're playing on an older gen like me. I'm playing on PlayStation 4, so it has pretty bad lag and pretty bad graphics. There's been times when UG can clarify we've been running around together and half of the floor has disappeared, or you're like someone's driving a car and it doesn't hit you. It's like 20 feet away from you, but you're all of a sudden dead from being mowed down. So it's bad enough as it is now. Adding something in the background like that's going to be hardware intensive, because it will be. It'll be super hardware intensive. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not looking forward to it. Hopefully it doesn't stick around too long. I can get back to enjoying the game the way it should be, really, which is no Snoop Dogg, no King Kong, no Godzilla, and no in Attack on Titan.
I do agree that it's gonna probably fuck with the game, but I do have to admire that Call of Duty has gotten all these big time movie stuff in the games. Like back in 2020, like in Halloween 2020, they had Jigsaw from Saw, the Chainsaw Massacre Killer.
Yes, dude.
And then in summer of last year, they had Rambo. They had
John McClane.
Die Hard. Yeah, John McClane.
Ah, yes.
And then I think they had Ghostface as well in Halloween of 2021. And now obviously they've got Attack on Titan and Snoop Dogg and all that, which is it's cool. But the problem is, it's kind of weird. It
doesn't add to the experience, does it?
For me, it doesn't feel right seeing Snoop Dogg in the middle of a battlefield in the 1940s. I mean,
exactly.
I don't know. When Sledgehammer Games announced Vanguard, right? They said it was a realistic World War II shooter, right? Which, if that's realistic, then I am the smartest person in the entire universe, Which, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm not wrong, though. I'm never wrong. 2 + 2 = 5. So, the thing is, the game, you have fucking guns that look like they look like they just came out of, I don't know, some steampunk universe, and it's just weird. It's so weird,
Yeah, I get it, dude.
Yeah, I agree.
The thing is, I want to talk about the performance part of it. Not even Warzone doesn't have a PS5 or Series version of it. I think not.
No, it's just the old generation version that you're downloading on the PS4, PS5, and the Xbox Series X. So you're getting really not much of an improvement at all. You're getting an old piece of software running on a new piece of hardware.
Pretty much, that's what that is what I wanted to say, because sure, you can blame your old PS4 as much as you can, but if the developer doesn't bring an optimization update to new consoles and all that probably will come to Warzone too. It's up to them. If the fucking frames per second decides to die on PlayStation 4 or basically in general, PlayStation and Xbox, doesn't matter if you have a PS5 or a PS4 or a Series S or an X or the Xbox One. It's up to the developer. And and Activision is not very well known for having very good ports, especially for Call of Duty. So
we're going to be here all year if we start talking about Activision's ineptitudes. Honestly, God, can't believe it.
Oh yeah. By the time we're done with that conversation, Mike would already be married.
By the time I'm done with that conversation, Snake Freezer will just about be leaving to come to the wedding. Am I late, Mike? No. Only a year.
Right, I do have a question before we move on to another topic regarding Warzone. Do y'all think, in your honest opinion, do you think Warzone has made COD better or worse?
Worse.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting.
My problems with Warzone is mostly because it's taking a lot of time away from like the mainline games. Like Modern Warfare 2019, right? Phenomenal game in some parts. It runs fantastic, right? But the problem is when they released Warzone, it took a lot of stuff away. And I understand when it released, there was the pandemic and shit, but it took a lot of time away from games like Black Ops Cold War and Vanguard. Now, you can say whatever you want about those games. I personally liked Cold War. I think I'm like the 3 people that liked it. But you can tell that a lot of like stuff was kind of missing from it. And that's kind of like the problem with live service games, in my opinion. Like they basically just drip feed content over a few months, and then by the time, let's say, November 2022 comes around, wham bam, thank you, ma'am, we've got a full game in Vanguard when Vanguard released in November of 2021. Like, well done. All the content is there. Well done, Sledgehammer. And you finally released it. It took you a year. So
The one thing that I'm going to bring up on Warzone, and this might be a bit off topic, but it really does bring out some, I wouldn't say toxic people, but some psychotic people.
Oh yeah, you get no.
What's
no
worse?
argument for me there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Like here's a perfect example. There's a streamer like that I watch sometimes. I think Kane knows where I'm going with this.
yeah, I know. The
And
moment you mentioned psychotic, I knew where we
Oh
were
yeah,
going.
yeah. I know where this is going.
Yeah. And it's not, well, he's on a totally different level, but I've noticed like any person that gets killed in Warzone or in any video game, I never understand why they have to completely smash up their setup. I really don't understand.
For me, it's just a show.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
just-
it's if you've
it's
got
just
enough
a
people
TV show.
watching. Yeah, if you've got plenty of people watching. Yeah, of course.
I think it's a little bit of both,
guess.
because I think I was watching your reaction stream to that particular streamer.
Mm.
I think, he knows
Yeah.
he's getting attention and donations, but I think there's also something psychologically wrong with him to be able to do what he does on streams. So, I think to answer that question, it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
And
Because I'll never understand, you spend so much money on a gaming setup, you get killed in a video game, and it's destroyed within 10 seconds.
yeah, it doesn't make sense. I'm not like that, thankfully. I mean, I get slightly cross, but don't tend to smash things up just because I don't have the abilities to replace what I've smashed up. But I think if I was, if money wasn't an option, I would have smashed shit up a long time ago, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I probably would have punched
Michael.
Mrs. Jew in the face as well, to be fair.
Don't lie, Michael. One day I hear you throwing a fucking controller out because you get killed on
Yeah.
fucking Warzone.
Well,
Ratchet, nobody
a
remembers
controller's
that.
one thing,
Oh god.
It's a little bit cheaper than a console.
Yeah, nobody
Well, I
remembered
broke
that,
a
Red. Thanks
controller
very
on
much.
Apex. Yeah, I broke a controller on Apex Legends, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Like, it's not,
Who
it's
hasn't
not
broke a
something to-
controller in their lifetime?
Yeah, I think I
Yeah.
mean,
True.
back in the day, it was annoying though for me when I used to play like the Mega Drive or whatever, or the Genesis. You can't throw that controller because it's attached to the console.
Yeah, I remember that.
So I get mad
Yeah.
at Micro Machines and I go to throw it and I'm like, oh crap, I've just crashed the whole game. Now I'm even more mad. And then my granddad's
Oh, no.
going to go mad at me. I'm going to have to take a shit in his slippers and it's going to make me feel better. But I think to answer your original question, GB, I think it's the other way around. I think Warzone hasn't made COD worse. I think the other CODs have made Warzone worse. So Warzone started off as a very good game, right? A very fun game. Yes, there wasn't a lot of support. There wasn't a lot of drip feed stuff. It was just a battle royal in its bare bones. Then when they added Black Ops support, where you get Black Ops characters and Black Ops guns, that slowed everything down and fucked everyone's frame rate up. And then the same thing again when they added Vanguard as well. It should have just stuck to being a Modern Warfare exclusive battle royal. So no Black Ops characters, no Vanguard characters, no influx of extra guns. Do you know what I mean? If they would have kept it like that, it would have been better.
Here's the problem, though, Mike. The way, after they had, Warzone in, I think I remember they, what was it, fucking Activision? There's probably an article out there somewhere, but I think they were saying, oh, fucking Warzone's the future or some shit, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing a video title talking about that subject. I swear there was an article. I could be wrong, but I remember seeing something like that, and that's probably why we saw, the Black Ops characters mixing with the Modern Warfare characters, and then later the Vanguard characters mixing with both the Black Ops and the Modern
Well,
Warfare
yeah, they
characters.
thought it was
I
a
mean,
smart idea and it was going to be the future, but they obviously ballsed it.
not only that, like for the longest time with certain stuff, like it also messed with the balance of the game. You know, you had certain guns outperforming other guns,
Yep.
and then when Vanguard arrived, everyone just turned to Vanguard because all their guns have 10 attachments. Black Ops and Modern Warfare's, they only have 5. 5, I think, max capacity.
But those are World War II guns. How does that make sense?
Exactly.
That's
You could
the-
get like an
yeah.
iron, like a laser sight with a a 2.5 or 5 milliwatt laser going around a corner,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yo, they had this in World War II.
I mean, according to the vegetables at Sledgehammer Games, like they say so, you know. So
God.
we might as well go ask
I-
Sledgehammer what's going on.
And to close this topic, is like I think it's you're gonna say the same 50-50. I think it should it brings some improvements to Call of Duty. Sure, I'm more of a story mode guy when it comes to Call of Duty. And yeah, there is like some regression, and there is not too much attention to what I liked. That is the story. But at the same time, well, Call of Duty was mainstream, but now is more mainstream thanks to Warzone, and hey, I'm open for competition, and has basically make other fucking battle royales go better, Apex, Fortnite,
Yeah.
and all those things. Like I think that's the good side, like the competition that has bring up to the battle royale. That's what I think is good.
I agree with that, Red. I think that's a perfect way to close. Thank you for the competition and the fact that this is going to make other battle royal creators really, really step up their game.
Yeah, I agree with you guys entirely. And I think that the point that we all agreed with is the fact that Warzone is good for people that like Warzone. COD is good for people that just like bog standard COD, like multiplayer, along with the story, especially zombies. That's been hurt seriously by Vanguard and Warzone. And I think what Microsoft needs to do once they acquire Activision Blizzard, after they kick Kotick to the curb, is to have these separate teams and studios work on each thing. A studio dedicated to Warzone, and then a studio dedicated to COD, and then another one dedicated to zombies.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they don't make enough money to be able to do that. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
They make
Exactly.
billions of dollars every year, and they're working out of a small office and trying to figure out how to. It just doesn't make sense. Like, put the money into it and keep your fans happy.
Not only that, I mean, we already know about the horrible working conditions in Activision's work environment. Because like that article I think that came out in July last year. Like, and it's just it's just sad. It's just sad that that's what the employees go through. And hopefully with Microsoft, buying Activision, hopefully they can somewhat improve that. I mean, I'm being a wishful man, but we have to remember that game developers are people too.
Yeah.
I agree.
This is true.
Please, Activision, don't put fucking 10 studios to develop Warzone. You can put 2 or 1 or 3. Please give us Crash. There are other fucking IPs out there that
Crash
you
5.
developed and you abandoned, and just for Warzone, you put peanuts to develop Warzone. Stop it. Give us, Crash or other things. I think they are much better. But
Or give us
it is
Bobby
what it is.
Kotick's head on a stick.
That too.
Well,
That too.
that will happen.
I'll take
Microsoft will
that,
do
please.
it. Don't worry.
No, but I mean literally his head on a stick.
Oh,
It's not
God.
my
Be great for
character called
Halloween.
Bobby Kotick.
Yeah.
It would be great. That would. Oh my god! Can you imagine in Warzone Halloween? Your new operator, just a floating Bobby Kotick head, like Reagan's head from Futurama.
Oh God.
My
Or was it
character
Nixon's
is
head?
Bobby Kotick.
Oh, Nixon's like there's all the presidents in Futurama if I remember correctly. Like Nixon, Washington was one as well.
Yeah.
I remember there was like an entire episode based around George Washington in Futurama. Like
Yeah.
I think like the whole premise was like if you licked the water that the heads were living in, you would temporarily go back in time to where the heads lived from. So if you licked the water of George Washington, you'd be in Revolutionary America, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
I thought that episode concept was pretty good.
So if somebody licks the water from my floating head in the future, they're just going to be transported to a time where Bobby Kotick was alive, and every game he touched turned to shit.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yay!
Oh dear.
But I do agree with Red. I think that there's a problem right now with online gaming. You know, not just battle royales, but other games we've talked about, where these studios focus on one game instead of making other games that their fan bases desperately want. And I hope that eventually they see the writing on the wall and they go back to allowing studios to make separate games, because more games, the better.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of other games, what about the Division, Red and UG? Y'all been playing it a lot lately?
Yes.
Having a blast so
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, 5
definitely.
minutes ago,
Having a blast with
finished
fat.
playing.
No, that was not fun.
far? Oh.
Yeah, it was a bit of a adventure, to call it that way, because
It was an experience. Let's put it to that way.
yeah, it was an experience. We were leveling the characters. Like right now, we are just in Division 1. Pretty much, Yuji and me are the same level. We are level 11 right now. We're just doing the story mainly and try to get to level 30, mainly for me to get some of my stash freed up. And for Yuji, just to complete the game mostly. And also to find a buddy to play incursions in the future. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting game. Like I played it since since release, and when it was a grindy piece of garbage, and later on it got updated and went better. We're basically playing in the Division 1, the final version of the game, because it stopped the live support a long time ago. But yeah, pretty much Yuji, what do you think of it?
Like, I'm kind of like the same. Like, I bought the game like when it first came out way back in the day, and I never actually like got a chance to like finish it, because I think, Red, you can kind of agree that the later missions in the game, try to do them by yourself is like impossible.
Yeah.
Like, you do need like a really like good team to help you like actually finish the game. When it comes to like the Division 1, I just love like the atmosphere of it. It just kind of reminds me of Max Payne 1 in a way. But with the Division 1, there's definitely like a lot of RPG kind of elements to it.
Yeah, that's true. Like you can build it. Like in my case, I'm building my old guns, because I basically bring up all the things I did on my first character. So I have my blueprints and everything. So I can build the guns and all that. So yeah, there is an RPG element on that, and yeah, the atmosphere is amazing. I love the kind of post-apocalyptic New York that is going on that game, especially. Dark Zone is another atmosphere that is actually really enjoyable.
Yes.
Like, sure, it is different. It's a different PvP experience. Like, sure, battle royales are one thing, and first-person shooters are another thing. When you go to Dark Zone, I think it's more hardcore, because it
I think like when it comes to like the Dark Zone in the Division, it's definitely got a survival of the fittest kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you can trust anyone. Like in our end, like basically 50 minutes ago, just for the boredom, we just went rogue. Basically, when you go rogue, it's basically you can go PvP and kill other players if you want to.
Yeah.
And basically rob their stuff as well. So it gives you that feeling that that means anyone on your side, could be a random, could be even your friend, because just go rogue and kill you and loot and basically rob you. So yeah, there is that survival of the fittest. And the bad things that, Yuji can agree on, is like the disbalance of the game when it comes to leveling up, because the game, when goes and you decides to, you have a group, for example, yesterday, FCG, UG, and me, the game thinks that you're like, everyone is like leveled up, and just throws everything to you, and it's really fucking cool.
Like, I'll give Ubisoft like this much. I give them credit for like thinking outside the box, but at the same time, fuck you, Ubisoft, for putting us through that.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really, really, really hard. The fact that I went to my primary character to end that mission, it was like, yeah, that's enough for today.
Yeah, it came to a point like we had no choice. I was just like, Red, just get your main character out. I've had enough.
Yeah, it was too much.
Division's infamous bullet sponges.
What do you think, Yuji, about the bullet sponge, especially on the final patch?
Yeah. Just when you think like you're doing like so well in the division, next thing you know, you just get one shot and you have to start all over again. Now, you guys know me like better than anyone. I don't rage when it comes to a lot of games, but yeah, I will swear like a drunk Irishman when that happens to me.
What do you mean, like?
Shut up, Mike.
Come on, man.
You know what I mean. I knew you couldn't.
It does sound
No,
like
but
a good
like
game, though, lads. Really, it does.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like the PvP, I think especially from someone that likes like a different experience, is really enjoyable. Sure, it could be cruel at times because again, it's DC, and basically Yuji said it as best as can be. It's the survival of the fittest, of the best. Yeah. So basically, anyone. Like right now, us, because I explained to Yuji and I know the tricks, I was basically shredding everyone because when you are new on that level 12, you don't know very well the guns and how it works, the game, and because everything has its own quirk and feature, to call it that way, and has its details that make a difference. I know those already, so it was basically me shredding everyone because I knew that Dark Zone was basically using SMGs, LMGs, and not sniper rifles. Everyone was using a sniper rifle, so you just went to kill everyone. And that's like the thing with that is like, knowing all the details and all that stuff is what makes the game really interesting for me. Also, the mechanics are amazing. I think the first one actually gives you like options to play the game as you want to. You can play it slowly, duck and cover and take your time, get a few shots. Yep. I usually play it like rushing, basically killing everyone on sight and just running away really, really quick. That's what I play. That gives you the options on the Division 1. On the second one, doesn't exist that. That's why I don't like the game too much. But yeah, that's pretty much when it comes to Division. It's a really, really fantastic game. And hey, basically playing like 5 years, like not right now. Jesus Christ!
Holy, that's crazy, dude. I do have a question.
One thing
about
oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I just wanted to know: is there a minigun
on the Division 2? Yes.
Oh.
Say no more.
I may get it now.
There's one thing I actually want to quickly say. You were talking about atmosphere and all that, and how it's like post-apocalyptic and all that. I mean, that sounds pretty good. I mean, it's a Ubisoft game as well, and I'll admit, Ubisoft. We give a lot of people give a Ubisoft shit, and rightfully so. But I can give Ubisoft some credit when it comes to them making open worlds, and the maps and all that. They do very good jobs with the immersion. Like I remember, last year in October, me and GB, we had done the Far Cry 6 Let's Play, and that was such a beautiful game, because obviously that was set in that was based off of Cuba. I mean, it wasn't literally Cuba we were on; it was on like a fictional island of Yara, but still, it does a good job getting you immersed in the world. And I gotta say, Ubisoft, they do a pretty good job at making you immersed in their worlds.
They do.
What about Yuji? Wow, you played the Division 2 as well on console. I got it on PC, but I learned that game long ago. How do you feel Washington on the Division 2?
Like when I first started playing the game, I'm gonna admit I didn't really care for it at the time, but recently I got back playing it again.
Wait,
though I will admit,
sorry for interrupting.
Yes.
Which Washington though? The city or the state?
Washington DC.
Oh, okay. So it's the city. Okay.
So I've been playing it for the last week, on and off, and I am kind of enjoying it. The combat I do think feels a lot more smooth. I just have one problem with the Division 2. Where the fuck is the plot?
Yeah, that's my main issue with that game as well.
because like I feel like I'm going like from one place to another, and it's like the story is basically non-existent.
Yeah, I agree. Like that's like I play like the game thinks that you play Division 1 already, so it's like okay, just delivers you this to Washington, and it's like oh, where I'm doing, you know, you're just like okay, I'm fighting these guys, but what I'm doing and what I am Washington and what everything looks like shit. It's like there is
It
no
does.
develop of what there is no develop of story, or at least gives you what happened on the Division 1 and what are like the print, like why everything looks like that. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree. On the Division 2, like they released DLCs and expansions already, and they don't do any better. Like at this point, it's like yeah, there is no plot, but instead of doing a good plot, they decide to basically double down and fuck it up even worse.
Like that's always like the thing with me, like because when I play a game, I do like to like enjoy the story, but with the Division 2, I'm still trying to figure out what the plot actually is because they haven't given me anything.
Yeah, because the plot is in the Division 1.
Yeah.
To know the story.
So you can't just pick number 2 up and play it if you haven't played the first one.
Well, if you're into
Well,
the story,
well, you could, but you just won't have a clue what's going on.
Yeah, so you kind of play in blind if you haven't played the first one.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But
Dumb.
I agree.
yeah, it's so that's why I don't like Division 2. It's so like the plot is lost, and many new players as UG or many others. It's like okay, Dollar Flu, what is going on, but there is no like a development of this fucking story. And when you play Warlords, it gets worse. And I'm not going to spoil that because UG is playing it, but it's just when Warlords of New York, it just gets worse. That's all I'm going to say.
So where would you guys like to see them go with Division 3? Are they even talking about a Division 3?
Sadly, no. I think it's going to go to like the same path of the Crew 2 and Rainbow Six Siege.
Just keep updating it.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be like that. Because they release battle passes and all that crap. That's why I don't play it anymore as well. It's another fucking battle pass. It's like, how much amount of battle passes there is in this game anyway?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But I mean, I don't know. I think between the two worlds, because I've watched people play Division 1 and 2, I feel like the world of like Blizzard, like what disease-ridden New York is far more interesting of a map than Washington, and it's very problematic if you're going to create a sequel to a game and not even allow for lore and backstory to catch people up, because not everybody, as we've pointed out, is going into Division 2 already knowing everything that happened in Division 1. So I think that was a mistake on Ubisoft's part, and it's very possible what you guys were talking about, that maybe because of that issue, it's just people feel less attached to it, and they just don't really care as much, even if they continue to try and add more content and packs and updates to Division 2. Maybe it's just not popular enough in order to merit a third game.
Yeah, I think like the thing is with the whole plot of the Division and all the story is that like I'm just gonna do it briefly without going too nerdy. Is like it's not about the sickness overall. It's about more of the human behavior and how things like this could actually make you change in some way. Because that's what in the Division 2 that actually delivers that message that it's not about the sickness anymore. It's not about the Dollar Flu anymore. It's more about how all the people betray each other. So it's like okay, and everyone is just hunting each other down by some odd reason because well the government has fallen. So well, fuck you then. Let's just start our own thing. So yeah, I don't see how it's going to be at the Crew 3 exactly. Maybe I don't know. Like I would love to have Europe on that game, but knowing Ubisoft and how they are like, because I played plenty of them, and how they're gonna stick on the United States. but I don't know exactly how it's gonna be. But maybe it will happen, maybe it won't. It's up to Massive.
All right, so let's go from New York, Washington, to galaxy far, far away with Kane.
Yes. So last episode I talked about my first thoughts on Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker saga, and now I have finished Revenge of the Sith and the original trilogy. So I feel like I'm eligible enough to give my honest opinion on the entire game. I've not done the sequel trilogy yet, and yeah, Disney, I ain't gonna do it unless I'm forced to do it. So, but yeah, I finally finished the original trilogy and Revenge of the Sith, and I have to say, it's a phenomenal game. I love the original trilogy. I think my favorite out of all of them will always be A New Hope. Like, I always will think A New Hope is the best Star Wars film of all time. And after playing the Lego version of it in this game, I thought it was really fun. I really did. I like the little jokes and all that. I think they actually got some voice actors from some original trilogy shows, because I recognize the voice actor for Ben Kenobi, because I think it was the guy that voiced him in Rebels. And I'm not on about the guy that voiced him in Clone Wars. I'm talking about Ben Kenobi. Oh yeah,
yeah, he's the same guy. Yeah. He voices Kenobi in Clone Wars, and he voices older Ben Kenobi.
I thought it was a different person.
No, it's the same guy.
I'm so dumb. Well, basically, he does a good job at fooling me, thinking that it's Alec Guinness.
Sir Alec Guinness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I know, Sir Alec Guinness. Well, great man, great man. But yeah, it was really fun, and I liked the little jokes. Yoda was still a little goofball, like he was in the prequel trilogy, and I think he was even more of a goofball in Empire, and even Return of the Jedi when he was in that little scene where obviously he's dying. Everyone knows what happens in the films by now. Don't say you don't. It's like the biggest twist is going to be like, oh, I didn't know that Darth Vader was Luke's father. Oh my, It's like. It was really nice, and speaking of that scene, I like the comedy that was in there, because there's a little bit where Vader's trying to help Luke get up, and then R2 just does his little frightened noise, and then he just scares Luke off with the little thing that he's holding on to, and that's why he falls, and instead of him actually optionally jumping down to escape Vader. I thought it was pretty fun. And one thing I really like is regarding one voice actor specifically. My man Billy D. Williams returns as your boy Lando. I was so happy to hear him in the game. When Ben told me that he returned, I was so happy.
That's pretty literally cool. They got Billy D. Williams back. I like that. That's nice.
I mean, they didn't get it Mark Hamill or Harrison Ford. And understandably for Harrison Ford, because he's a bit of a knobhead. But I mean, shame they couldn't get Mark Hamill to voice Luke. But I mean, it was great to see Billy reprise his role as Lando, and he was also pretty funny in Return of the Jedi. He had a few funny one-liners, and also the Emperor. I talked about him being a goofball in the first two prequel films. He's even more of a goofball in Revenge of the Sith and even Return of the Jedi.
Oh wow.
He's so funny in Return of the Jedi, and Sam Witwer, he did a fantastic job voicing him again, and I have to say the Emperor is definitely the highlight of Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga. He will probably be the main highlight. I'm not sure who voices Vader in the game. I would assume it's the guy that voices him in Fallen Order, because he does a very good voice, for Vader. But yeah, Vader sounds pretty menacing.
So it's not James Earl Jones?
I don't think it's him. I mean, I could have a look.
He's still alive,
Yeah, I know he's still alive.
He's in his 90s, I think.
Oh, I saw him in Coming to America too. It was actually quite good. Looking great. He looks great on us.
I swear, that man is reverse aging, if anything.
Yeah.
He looks better and better each year, and he still sounds freaking menacing whenever he voices Vader. Because I know he voiced Vader in Rogue One and even Rebels, and he still makes me fucking shiver every time I hear his voice. You know, he still gives me like a little, oh, fuck it out.
Yeah, I get that.
But yeah, I'm not sure if he voices Vader in the game.
I don't
unless
think he
it's
does.
the guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's him because it doesn't really sound too much like him. But
It's very hard to fake a voice like that with so much gravitas, isn't it?
yeah, basically. But yeah, overall, anyone that is wondering about getting Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, I honestly recommend it. You know, it's probably a faithful remake of the original Lego Star Wars game, but obviously with voice acting. And also, if you want to relive the old days of the Lego games, where instead of voice acting, you just heard them mumbling and all that, and doing little grunts and all that. There is mumble mode, so if you want to hear, Luke, instead of saying, "Oh no, Obi-Wan, we gotta go do this," you can just hear him go, "Meh, meh, 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 we're going, meh, 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 meh." You just hear him mumble instead, which is great. So,
That's brilliant.
yeah, they at least had that feature in, so I'm happy that they got that in. So yeah, I think that's like my opinion. Actually, one more thing I want to add: the sequel trilogy. I've not touched it yet, and I don't plan on touching it anytime soon. My reasons for it, I've said this to the lads before we started recording. It's a bastardized version of what, everyone loved about Star Wars. It's just a middle finger, the sequel trilogy is. I know it's a Lego game and all, but still, I feel like I'd probably get very opinionated when streaming it on, stream. Especially with The Last Jedi. I feel like I'd probably get very toxic when doing The Last Jedi, because, in my opinion, it's not just the worst Star Wars movie of all time. I think it's the worst movie of all time, in my honest and humble opinion, and that's my personal opinion.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know. As I always like to try and say never. I think that you could
Yeah.
actually play the sequel trilogies and shitpost on them and do what you were
Yeah.
just talking about. Like if you were just in the mood and just partying and just goofing off, like you always say, have a
Good
goof and a
point.
gaff at its expense. Just play
Yeah.
through them and just maybe there's some humor there. I mean, it was done by the Lego team. So maybe, ironically, the Lego versions of the sequel trilogy might actually be better.
The only scene I've seen from the sequel trilogy is actually actually it was two. I lied. There was Snoke's death, which is kind of a little bit comedic in that regard. Like when they did a little lightsaber thing before he can actually kill Snoke. And then the other scene I watched was like the fight on, I can't remember what that planet's called. Like, is it called Yaren or something? Or it's like it's the white planet that they're on. It's not Hoth, it's Discount Hoth, basically.
Salt
Where
Planet. Yeah,
that one basically is where Luke's doing the little like trick on Kylo where he's not really there, but he is there. I don't really know what to describe that as. Like, is it a Force ghost, a Force hologram, or some shit? I don't even know what that was. But that's the only scenes I've seen regarding the sequel trilogy, and I don't know. I will think about it, but overall, fuck Disney and fuck what they did to Star Wars in terms of the sequel trilogy.
here.
That means
Yes.
Well said.
no more Gonkuroid. No more minibar
Hey.
with feet.
Don't worry,
That's
the Gonk droid is here in spirit. It's my profile pic here, so it's technically still with us. It never left.
Well, we
Gonk.
wanted to see more minibars with.
It's like
with guns and
that
minibars.
what is it? That one scene of The Wolf of Wall Street. You know that scene with Leonardo DiCaprio's character where he's like, "I'm not fucking leaving." That's the Gonk droid right now. It's not fucking leaving. Oh dear.
Poor Gonk.
Yeah, that,
It's okay.
yeah, poor Gonkuroid.
He'll come back another time.
It's gonna get his Fortnite skin.
Oh god. Funny enough that you mentioned that, Red. I believe in my server somewhere, Ben posted an edit of him putting the Gonk droid in Fortnite. So it's funny. I mean, and if you're watching the video when it releases, you should be able to see the picture. But it's pretty funny.
If I remember to add it.
Oh, of course, I'll put it in the group chat. Don't worry.
If I don't, just yell at me in the comments section.
Oh yeah, we'll all just bully you in the
You had
comments.
one job, GB.
Yeah.
multi-edition and you didn't put the meme on it. How dare you?
Yeah, do everything else right except for the one image.
Yeah, that one image.
Okay, so now we're going to go from video games to board games. And I'm going to give you a little tease. One day in the future, Prickast, we will talk Spider-Man because, like, in between recordings, we have, like, a little intermission so we can go do this and that. And there was an awesome Spider-Man conversation that Kane, Red, Yuji, and us were listening to. And, yeah, I think we'll have a future Spider-Man chat somewhere down the road. But we're going to talk board games now. One of the oldest, most iconic board games of all time, Monopoly. Have you guys ever played this game called Monopoly?
I've
Indeed,
played it
yes.
several times on Christmas Day, and it has caused many arguments on Christmas Day as well.
As a Jewish man, there is something poetic about playing a game that involves stealing land from people and not paying for it. So, yeah, I'm down with Monopoly all day. By the way, the Monopoly man does not have a monocle. For those of you who have that Mandela effect and think he has a monocle, he doesn't.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think there has been a design where he does have one.
Never had a monocle. Never.
Are you sure Pennybags never had one?
Mandela, brother. That's what it is. It's the Mandela effect.
Okay.
He's
I'm
never had a
going to
monocle.
look on the Googles.
Everyone's
right
going to Google that now.
Yeah.
Especially while they're listening
All right,
to this.
let's
They're going to
see-
be
let's
like,
see if
I'm
Mr.
going to Google and
Pennybags-
prove the gaming Jew
All
wrong.
right.
Ugh.
All right, Mr. Pennybags. You might be right, though. You might be right. He may have never had a monocle. And if,
You know what? First thing that came up when I looked at it's literally straight to Mandela effect.
Oh, no. Wow. All right, so I'm looking. Yeah, I'm looking all the way back to, like, the oldest original logo, which, in my opinion, is the best logo, the most iconic Mr. Pennybags logo. And
Yes.
I would have to say that Mike is right. I don't see a monocle.
Yeah.
I did something.
I'm in the meeting.
I know where people get confused. I think it's because of Mr. Peanut. Mr. Peanut had a monocle.
Yeah.
And he
that's
also
what
has a
it is.
top
That's where
hat.
it
And he
came
has a
from.
cane. He doesn't have a sweet stash, though.
No. That's exactly where it came from when I was reading about it a time ago. That's exactly where it came from. You're right. Mr. Peanut was confused with Mr. Pennybags. But yeah, anyway, sorry.
We have settled the debate once and for all. Mr. Pennybags does not have a monocle. He has LASIK. So Riley and I really like playing Monopoly, and we don't play as often, but the very first time we played was over a year ago before she moved in, and I had the board set up on my kitchen table, and we were in the voice chat on Discord because she was still in PR, and I was doing all the work, right? I had to do everything. I had to roll the dice, and I took photos. I posted the images into Discord, and I think Instagram a year ago, and every single Monopoly game we've played since then, Riley has won. And I've been like, one day I'm going to win. And she's like, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. I'm going to win one day. And we don't even play chess anymore because she's so much better at chess than me. And I used to think that was decent at chess. But she's like a chess master by comparison. So I'm like, nah, we're not going to play chess. And so she was wanting to play Monopoly. And we set up the kitchen table. We got everything good to go. And I was thinking back in my mind, yes, today's the day. I'm going to finally win. And to start off the match, I end up in jail before my first turn. You know how the first turn, some people choose not to buy anything the first turn, the first round about the map.
Yeah.
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 We do that. I land in jail. I'm like, well, we're off to a great start.
Wow. DB's in jail for war crimes for daring to challenge Riley
I
again.
know, right?
Fuck it, eh?
And so she goes around to go. She gets her $200, and then she gets the luckiest rolls. She ends up buying, and I kid you not, 3 out of 4 of the railroads and both the utilities.
Oh my!
Oh,
Damn.
yeah.
Did you check the dice to see if they weren't loaded?
Oh yeah, I looked. I'm like, okay, they're just lucky rolls.
I knew it. I can imagine you picking them up, going, "What's wrong with these dice?"
And I was just sitting there going, like, okay, well, I guess this match is over. But the spirit of Monopoly is never give up. And I stuck with it, even though I had that feel like, oh man, I'm being stomped here again. And so we kept playing. I finally got out of jail, and I started buying up. I was just desperate, right? Because I still had to go back around to go before I could start buying. And I eventually got to go. I got my $200, and then anything I landed on, I was buying. I was buying this, buying that, buying that. Ultimately, I ended up with Boardwalk and Park Place and all the red locations, you know, So I had that. I had 1 out of 3 railroads, 1 out of 4. I had Reading Railroad. I think I got a chance card or community chest that got me on there, so I managed to buy that. So she didn't have full control over the railroads. And every other property, like, she could not take control of. The only 2 properties she gained were the cheap purple properties.
Oh no!
So
I
we
think
had
in England they're brown, but yeah, I know.
Oh, they're
which ones you
brown?
mean.
Really?
Yeah, dude, they give them a really shit brown color. I think that's literally they're describing poverty in one go. They're like, "You live here, it looks like poo. Enjoy."
Wow. So basically, it went from her nearly winning to a armistice, if you will, because it kept going on, and we just wouldn't, like, she would try to make a deal with me, and I'm like, no, I'm not making a deal with you, because anytime I make a deal with you, I end up suffering as a result. And I'm like, no, if I'm not going to win, I'm not going to lose. And so ultimately it was an armistice. It was a tie. But she did end up with way more cash. And then she was like, well, technically I won. But I'm like, but I controlled Boardwalk and Park Place. I already put homes on both properties. And I was just going this whole logic. It's only a matter of time, before I start bleeding you out of money. Because you're going to land on Boardwalk and Park Place eventually. And by then I'll have more homes and even hotels. And then I'll already have my red properties of Atlantic and Illinois built up. So I was just going with that whole long-term projection of my victory.
Wow.
So you basically had a whole PowerPoint presentation as to why Riley should give up now and you should agree to stop. Sounds like every Jewish lawyer ever. Like, I don't think it's a good idea for you to go here. You might lose your money.
Now, this was after the fact. This is after we were done and we called it a draw, because later on she's like, technically I had way more money than you. I'm like, but yeah, I had the better properties on the board, and if you would have landed on them a few times, that would have given me a huge advantage, and I could have started putting more homes on the red properties and building up hotels on Park Place and Boardwalk.
So you basically, what you're saying is you managed to clutch a little victory, albeit very, very small.
I'll take what I can get, okay?
Yeah, you'll take that. That's fine. I guess it's chess next time again, then.
No, maybe checkers.
Wow.
Oh,
Checkers.
But yeah, I love Monopoly. The only problem is it's more fun when you have more people, because, it's taking longer. You develop alliances and strategies, and then ultimately you wait for that person you had an alliance with to stab you in the back at the right moment.
I was thinking, wouldn't it be a great idea for there to be like a Monopoly game on console, so you can invite several of your friends to join and play?
Well, there is, but they're always shit, though. Every time they come up with a console version of Monopoly, it's always garbage.
Because Uno, the console version, was very fun.
Yeah,
that's a fun game. But I would have expected other styles of board games to be just as good. I've never noticed that there wasn't a Monopoly one. But if you're saying it's shit, then yeah, I mean, it probably is.
I think the problem is it's just the way they set it up for playing online against people across the world. You think that'd be perfect online party type of game, but I've heard so many issues about it crashing, and they did substandard, subpar updates to it, and there's still bugs and issues, and they didn't take long before I think they abandoned the latest version of Monopoly Online. We were actually going to buy it a while back, but then I saw the reviews for it, and I was like, yeah, no thanks.
Yeah. But it's nice that you guys have game nights. I think that old school sort of, spending time together thing is so lost on this generation of kids and young people. They think they have to go out and drink and stuff like that to have fun. I'm the same with Mrs. Jew. We actually have Monopoly, but we have a Go version of it. So it's like a small board with little tiny cards, and so you can take it out with you basically and play it anywhere.
Nice.
We can play it on the train if we're going to somewhere. I think, and we play Ludo a lot as well. I don't know if you know what that game is.
What's Ludo?
Ludo is so it's. Do you know what it is, Red?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was
So
just saying, what the hell is that?
yeah, so it's like colored pieces. Yeah, so there's 4 squares on a board, red, yellow, green, and blue. And you have 4 markers, and you have to take those markers around the board and back to your home before anyone else does it with theirs. And you can land on their pieces and send their piece back home to their square, so they have to restart the game again. It's really, it can go on for hours, but it's damn fun. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you should try and see if you can... they've probably got a game like it, but it's probably called something else.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome board games that have come out over the decades that a lot of the current generation are not even aware of, and that's unfortunate, because I do kind of like going back old school, sitting at a table with some friends and just playing some Monopoly or playing Clue or some other game. Even like Risk. I love playing Risk, but it's hard to find people that want to play Risk with you.
Yeah, Risk is super long-winded as well.
know.
That's why it takes such a long time to get people involved and keep them interested. I once had a a board game, and I'm not even joking. You can Google this if you think I'm making it up. It was called Secret Hitler.
I remember that game.
Oh my god, dude! Someone else knows Secret Hitler?
Yeah, I remember that
That's
game.
amazing! Oh my god, man! I still have my copy somewhere. It's old now, dude. It's like 40 years old. But oh god, I'd love to play that one day. But I think there's something suspicious about a Jewish man saying, "Do you want to play Secret Hitler with me?"
Didn't they
I don't think that'd
I
go
think they
too well.
rebranded it, right?
I think they
renamed
eventually did, yeah. But I have the original Secret Hitler.
it. I bet
From
that's
like
worth
40,
something.
50 years ago. I thought that, but I looked on eBay and it was worth like £10, which is like $15. So I was like, it's not fucking worth selling. I'll
Oh,
keep
so
it,
it's
thanks,
just
mate.
like my episode 1 action figures. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
they're
God.
completely worthless, and it's so annoying because you're like, dude, I've had this fucking years now. Come on. No. There are Fortnite skins worth more than my Secret Hitler board game from 1960. Damn it!
Oh, it quite literally is.
It's so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's so messed up because even my teens, I thought about how much like original Trilogy action figures were going for, and when episode 1 was coming out, and they were like filling the stores, like Target, Walmart, etc., with those action figures. That's the only reason why I bought them, because I thought I'd put them away in a box, and decades later they'd be worth a fortune. And well, I was wrong.
TB had sat there and watched episodes of like Storage Wars and stuff and going, hey, I'm pretty sure I could dig out some bargains somewhere, and kept holding them for years. And the paper's worth more than the actual figure itself. Oh.
Yeah. But I'll tell you one game I actually do win at against Riley. Okay, I get stomped at chess, and I don't do much better in Monopoly. I do put up more of a fight Monopoly, but I'm 1-0 at Star Wars Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, give the man a hand. Well played, brother.
Hey.
Any small victory you can take in a relationship, trust me, I know this.
Exactly.
And UG will know as well. Red will know. Any small victory you can take over your significant other is literally to the grave. You take that to your grave now. That is the one thing that when you go to the pearly gates and St. Peter and God say, or whatever you believe in, say, so what did you do on earth that warrants your journey to heaven? I beat my wife. Not literally, but in a board game.
No. That came out wrong. I'm sorry.
I mean, maybe that's what Johnny Depp would say, but
Oh, Jesus Christ. If you want some free enemies, just play Uno. That's the best.
Oh
way
my
to get
god,
it.
yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I hate Uno so much. I punched siblings with Uno.
Yeah.
Same here.
Like, that's a game that cuts all blood. Doesn't mean anything when you're playing Uno.
No.
It doesn't matter if that's your brother, your sister, or your grandma. They're getting a punch in the face should they give you a reverse card of some sort. That's it.
Oh god.
Oh,
I got enough hits off my dad.
In my case, I played with my cousins. So you should get out and drink a few and all that. So basically, we start making alliances, or basically just bullying someone on a specific. So last time I remember was basically giving the welcome to, I think, one of my cousin's girlfriends. So it's basically all teamed up to basically give her the 4 cars everywhere. So yes, she knew. She was like, we were ganged up of her. It's like, okay, and she just went up in a war against us. Yeah, it's quite a trip.
It's crazy, isn't it? Because you become like some mastermind, like arsehole that you never knew you could be, and you take pleasure in ruining people's lives in that game. It's brilliant. It's the greatest game that's ever made. Seriously,
that's true. But also with Monopoly, going back to the topic. Well, one thing is playing it with you here on everyone, but playing it with entrepreneurs or lawyers is absolutely infernal. Especially with my family, because mostly are entrepreneurs or they have their own businesses and all that. So of course they know all the fucking tricks, and so it's like okay, and they start and they know how to play and they know what where's the value and all that. But it's absolutely awful because they and also and especially with lawyers, because they making you deals and basically bring up the fucking their fucking career on
doing
the fucking
property
games.
law while you're just trying to buy something.
Yeah.
pretty much. It's like, and the others are like, oh yeah, I'm gonna buy this one, and you think, oh, it's not that worthy. But at the end of the day, they know that everyone is gonna land there, and they just put a lot of fucking like houses and everything, and it's like, and they just ring you pretty much because they know how to play the fucking game before, because well, the fucking career is like that. So yeah, I remember that's something of my family that we played, and usually we just just to see how good we are in our fields. But yeah, that's a quite interesting game.
Sorry, brother. Go ahead.
We should wait. Yeah, so don't worry. We should wait for Monopoly Bitcoin or something with crypto.
Oh, no.
Oh Jesus!
Monopoly NFT.
Do you know any idea how much fun that would be to get Snake Freezer involved and be responsible for single-handedly bankrupting him?
Oh,
That would be hilarious.
He'll do another live stream where he fucking has a clip of Trevor calling you like a piece of shit over and over again. That's what'll happen.
No, he'd always
was
get
gonna say-
low numbers across the dice, because he's Mr. Slowly.
Yeah.
Eventually he'd pass
it'd be a six-faced dice of just one on it every time. Why am I only getting ones all the time?
You know what? If we bring a board game to the wedding, that's
Oh
what
my
we
God!
need to
Yes,
do.
let's
We need
play.
to make
Let's play
that.
Monopoly at Mr. Slowly's hotel, and we'll
Yes.
just scam him. We'll work together
Yes.
and scam him.
There we go.
Yeah, I'm
Wait,
down
he's
for
going to
that.
listen to this, though, isn't he?
Oh shit!
Oh,
Yeah.
oops,
Well,
mission fail.
shit.
I was going to say I have one surefire way of winning Monopoly, and it's worked well constantly throughout my entire life. When nobody's looking, nick 500 from the bank every turn.
Well-
Boom, done.
My money's on Slowly because he probably helped create Monopoly.
Mr. Pennybags is based on Mr. Slowly, isn't he? Oh no! Oh, he's a good man, isn't he?
Yeah.
He puts up with some serious shit from us. He really does.
Yeah, we
I
love
know,
him.
right?
Brilliant.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's well.
But
I think when
let's
it comes
move
to
on
that strategy about Snake, GB, you could edit that out, right?
Nah, why do
Nah.
that?
I honestly
edit
think
that
that
out.
I
would
only
be so
edit
much
out
fun.
like
It'd be more
long,
fun.
uncomfortable pauses, or when we interrupt each other too much, just to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah, but leave the Snake Freezer thing in there. I
yeah.
definitely-
Only out
yeah.
of love, though, Mr. Slowly.
Yeah, we
Oh,
love you,
yeah.
Mr. Slowly, but damn
We
it, I
love you,
can't wait to
Slowly.
bankrupt your ass at Monopoly. I really.
Oh yes.
Does he
then
even
after
like
that-
Monopoly? That's the real question. He might not even
He's
like
got no
it.
choice. I'm bringing it to his
Playing
hotel
it
room
whether
and
he
he will
wants to or
fucking play it.
not.
It's even better
God.
if he doesn't play it and he's never played it before, because then I'm just going to tell him,
Oh
you start
no.
off with $10, we all start off with 1,000. Don't
Oh,
worry,
yes.
that's the rules of the game, Mr. Slowly.
Yes.
What kind of rules are these?
Yeah. He probably remembers when it first came out, though. So he's been playing it.
Yeah.
since
Well,
then.
he played
Oh
Monopoly.
my
I believe he played Monopoly with the with 4 of the 12 disciples originally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He still owes Peter I think a couple of properties worth.
Couple
rent
pieces of silver.
Yeah, a couple of golden doubloons or something like that. Yeah, I think that's what he owes him still. Brilliant.
But
We
yeah,
love you,
Uno's
but
that
another
debt's never
awesome
gonna be
game.
paid.
Like we were talking about Monopoly Uno, and yeah, I mean that's one game that it's great to play against other people, friends, family. But credit to the creators of the online version, they did a good job with that, and that would be another fun game to play with some friends. I think that Dark Matter Wolf wants to play some Uno eventually against Riley and me. It's like him and his fiance versus Riley and me. So maybe we'll do that one day, Dark Matter Wolf, if you're watching. But yeah, Uno, another
That
fantastic
might be a nice
game.
idea to have a Prickast game of Uno.
Oh,
that'd be a little-
yeah. We could
That
do
might be quite interesting. The 5 of us maybe film a little game of Uno between.
Oh
ourselves.
yeah. That'd be
Let
fun.
us know in the comments actually if that would be quite interesting and who your predictions for the winner would be.
Yeah,
A
it could
live
be
And
just
stream.
let's
like
be honest, we're not going with GB given his game history with
no,
Riley. He's
don't,
probably
don't
not
go with
going.
me. I'd get
Yeah.
stomped probably. Or would I?
Better question. Out of the 5 of us, who's
Oh.
going to rage first?
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be me, 100%.
Wait,
Guaranteed.
so on Uno, like in the game version, like what's the limit of players? Like how many people can play?
I think I'm not sure. I hope it's not 4, but I'm bordering around. It's meant to be 6, I believe.
Okay.
I think it's 2 to 6. 2 to 6.
Okay, so we could play that, and if
So we
needed
could
to
get
bring-
a Prickast game.
Yeah, or we could just do it as like a little side thing on the Prickast channel. Just throw it up there one day when we just feel like sitting around, just put up a Uno live stream or just a video and just sit around talking shit while playing Uno.
That's what I'm thinking. It might be a nice little extra for people to have a look at.
Yeah,
if
so
they'd be
chat, what do
interested.
y'all think? Let us know in the comment section. Would y'all like to see a Prickast Uno game in the future? Fine.
And then, if that went well, we could try other games as well, like little board games that we could have playing whilst we're doing something.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Yeah, we don't gonna gang up on you. Don't worry.
Why do I not believe that? Because I missed out on the first episode. You guys are just now. This was a whole plot, and you've led me to play. You've led me to come up with this idea of playing Uno together, so you can all literally savagely beat me.
Oh,
Like,
That would never
Right,
happen.
such a thing.
and- yeah,
Your
we're
lack of
gonna do
conviction
that.
disturbs me, gentlemen.
Yeah. As a show of good faith, Mike, the time has finally come. OG Trilogy.
Yes. Sorry, I yelled.
God.
Yes.
I'm very excited. I don't know where we're going with this in general, but I do I do want to talk about just my general love for the OG trilogy, and hopefully find that everybody else here agrees with me. And if you don't, well, I don't care. Genuinely, the OG trilogy, the GTA 3, Vice City, and San Andreas is by far the greatest collection of 3 games that you will ever find in anywhere ever, basically, apart from maybe Uno. But honestly,
Oh
all
my
right. So
God.
earliest memory-wise, what is your guys' earliest memory? Which game did you play first out of the 3? Because I know Kane focused more on San Andreas. I believe you enjoyed San Andreas more. I remember us discussing before.
I did play. I remember loving San Andreas the most out of all 3 of them. But I
Yeah.
remember, I believe the first one I actually played was either 3 or Vice City. I remember it was one of them 2 games because their soundtrack really, like, kind of, they kind of like you hear a lot of people talk about it. Like they remember like this game because of their soundtrack. I remember they both had a phenomenal soundtrack, especially Vice City.
Oh my God, yes.
I remember. I think I've told the story several times on how I've actually accidentally ended up becoming a GTA fan. And that was because on the PlayStation 2, I shared it with my dad and my brother, and
Yes.
I often would play like the Burnout games because I like the Burnout games. I think they're pretty fun. It's always fun just crashing your car all over the place and just seeing how much damage and carnage you can cause by crashing. I thought it was pretty cool. So I think this would have been 2006 or 7, I believe. And I remember it had either. It was one of the first 2 games. It was either Vice City or 3 that was in the PlayStation 2. I do apologize if my memory's not the best. As I've said, it was a very long time ago. But I remember starting at the PlayStation 2, assuming that Burnout was still in there. And then I remember seeing the Rockstar game logo. And that's when I knew, hey, this wasn't Burnout. What's going on here? And I remember playing one of... like I said, I can't remember which one it was. I think part of me thinks it was 3, part of me thinks it's Vice City. But I remember playing one of the original 3D GTA games, and I remember loving it. And I remember, like, the soundtrack was really good, because I remember, like, it was, like, Push It to the Limit, what else? Billie Jean. Like, those are the songs at the top of my head that I can remember hearing.
Push It to the Limit was from 3, and Billie Jean was from Vice City.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember it for that, because those games really did affect my how my taste in music is. And
That's exactly what I was just about to say, man. I think that's trilogy of games definitely inspired a new generation of people to love 80s music. Oh man, I'm just enamored by the 3 games. I really am. I genuinely can't explain why. I think what it is I a little background. I grew up in foster care for most of my younger life, and then in my late teens, I was moved in by my grandfather, so I stayed with my grandfather and lived with him. And so I didn't have a solid parental figure, which basically meant I was able to get away with shit like playing video games that were far too old for me, and had a lot of swearing and stuff because nobody really gave a shit as long as quiet. But I think in a weird sort of way, those games parented me. I don't know. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? Like, it's
Yeah,
Yeah.
I get what
Like,
you're talking
They were
about.
there for me during the times where a parent usually would be, or a best friend would usually would
Yeah.
be, and I didn't have that because I was moving around all the time. So the games were there.
Mm.
That's why I've always had this huge affinity for just. I mean, regardless of Rockstar's decisions these days and how piss poor they are at managing things, that made me fall in love. I played GTA before, but it was never as interesting as when I first picked up GTA 3 or when I first cruised down Ocean Beach in Vice City in an Admiral that I'd just stolen from some old lady. The memories are so vivid, the colors, the music, the lights, everything about those 3 games is beautiful. And oh man, what, it sounds like I'm going to start crying now, doesn't it? I'm not, but I just it's a
I'll
genuinely.
go get the tissues.
It's a dude.
Hold on.
It's yes, all right, yes. Go on, give me the tissues then. Yeah, make fun. Bastard. It's just a great set of games. I don't think out of the 5 of us, yes, I mean, I suppose it's kind of where the name has come from, actually, of the actual Prickast itself, kind of derived from Vice City, did it not?
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
I called the group chat the Pricks and said that we were all pricks, and then I guess it's kind of
obviously, like Tommy, he calls a lot of people pricks, and
everybody
there's also,
a prick.
and not only that, like Ricardo Diaz, he's like, you stupid pricks,
Yep,
at one
exactly,
point where he's like,
Yeah,
beating up a
obviously we use
TV.
that for our intro.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
So I guess you can see that has had some sort of permanent branding in the mind, I suppose, is that we all know these 3 games, and I think we can all, out of all of us, there's probably not really a negative thing we have to say about the OG trilogy, really, is there?
yeah.
They were
I don't think
groundbreaking,
so.
in my opinion.
But there is a negative thing we can say about the bastardized versions that came out in 2021. The defective editions.
How long have you got for us to list the reasons why that a particular set of games
Can we just
suck?
stick with the OG trilogy for right now?
Yeah.
I hope we can.
Because it's going to
idea.
get us all
Because usually
irate.
has yet to jump in,
Yeah.
and Red and me regarding.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, please do
I
go
know.
ahead. Otherwise, I'll be here
Go
for
on.
hours talking. So
Go on.
please, someone take over.
we're gonna take the defective trilogy and just put it over in the trash. So there.
Thank you. Oh dear.
Just tell me about the trilogy, you guys. Red, GB, Kane, UG. You guys talk about it. Otherwise, I'll be here for hours. This Prickcast will never ever get put out on the internet because I will not shut up. Please.
Yeah, go on. I'll talk about my perspective of it anyway. When I think like the very first like GTA game that I ever played was like the very first one that came out on the PlayStation 1. And honestly, I just kind of thought it was just one of those games. It didn't really feel any bit special to me until I played GTA 3 for the first time. And I remember like a friend of mine told me, "Oh, this was from the original Grand Theft Auto." And I was like, "What? Seriously?" So I played it for a while, and it was like the very first GTA game I actually ever finished was GTA 3. And I do agree with what Mike says, that when GTA 3 came out for the very first time, it was revolutionary. Do you guys agree?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Groundbreaking.
Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
Like, fine, like we could all like make jokes about Claude in the game because, well, he was the only character in the game that actually didn't really talk. It was only like after Vice City came out that they actually did have a main character that did talk, aka Tommy Vercetti. I did kind of notice Mike seemed very happy when I mentioned Vice City.
Well, it's my picture, isn't it? Everyone's going to
That's
see
true.
that. I am Tommy Vercetti for this evening, definitely.
Like, don't get me wrong, like I did enjoy Vice City, but we all can agree like the old version, not the defective piece of shit that we have now, was way more difficult back then. Well, for me it was anyway.
Yeah, I think that kind of had something to do with age, though. I was sort of procrastinating about this the other day because I've played the Defective Trilogy, but I found it to be a lot easier. And I don't think that's necessarily down to the design or the remaster of the game. I think it's purely down to age. As we have grown older, we've become more wiser to the tricks that you can use to complete a mission in those 3 games. That's what I think anyway. I played these games when I was like 10, 11 years old, so obviously the mission that pissed me off the most was stealing the tank. Do you remember in Vice City where you had to steal the tank from the armored?
the Sir, yes, sir. What was it? The
Yeah.
Sir, yes,
Sir,
sir.
yes,
mission?
sir.
that
It's
one.
called, yeah.
Don't even
Yeah.
get me
So
started
you
on
had
that
to
mission.
steal the tank, and everyone thought park a car in front of the, the stockade or whatever it is that you call a group of soldiers walking together, a mess of soldiers or
Oh,
whatever.
the convoy.
That's it. Yeah. Why did I find that so
Yeah.
difficult to think of? Why did I call them a mess? What's a mess? What's a group of things that's called a mess?
You're probably
I don't
thinking
know.
of a mess hall.
Yeah, a school. Fine, a school of soldiers. There we go. No, that's fish.
A platoon.
A platoon. That's it. Platoon. Okay,
There
so a
you go.
platoon of soldiers is there. Several vehicles. A tank you have to steal. Everyone thinks, oh, we'll park the car in the front of the unit, and they'll stop, and we can steal the tank. No, a soldier comes and moves the car, and you continue the mission. What most people didn't realize, because they were probably too hasty to do it, is halfway through their trek, the convoy actually stops, and the gentleman in the tank jumps out and goes into the local donut shop.
Yep.
And then you can get
Yeah.
in the tank and drive away. Not a lot of people remember that because they were obviously too hasty to try and complete the mission. But the games in general were very difficult for us at a certain age. But I think now I could probably play through the original trilogy and have no problem. I saw Snake Freezer playing it on GTA 3 on his channel not long ago, and yeah, he struggled, man. He really struggled.
Mm.
So I don't know if that's down to just him being rubbish.
With everything.
Yeah, he's pretty
Struggles
rubbish, isn't he?
with
At just stuff in general, isn't he?
Nope.
I mean, he's swearing at the police officer and everything, and I get it because I did that too. But he's my favorite quote from that whole stream. And God love you, Mr. Slowly. I'm really sorry that I have to pull this out, but he walking down the street after having his arse literally beaten by a bunch of police officers, and his car exploded. He respawns at the hospital. Walks down the street and simply says, "This is not Liberty City. This is Frustration City." I thought, like, that's it. He said it in a sentence there, hasn't he? It's brilliant.
Oh,
So
Lord.
But yeah, these games are my childhood. I grew up with them. They influenced my taste in music, my taste in fashion. I know nobody in Vice City had blue hair, so let's not get bogged down with where the hair came from. But in terms of what I wear, I love neon colors. My wedding playlist in a couple of months is going to be purely just 80s pop and synthwave because of my love for Vice City. So, and I'm going to have some pounding sort of synth lights that go with the synths and stuff. I just think generally that those three games have shaped my childhood, and I will always have a huge love for them. And when my children are born and they grow up a little bit, I'm going to introduce them to the original trilogy. I'm going to pretend that the other thing didn't exist and just tell them this was the original trilogy, and this is the only thing you need in your life, really. Don't even play GTA 5 at this stage. If you can just sit back and happily play those three games, you're doing all right.
Brad, your turn.
Oh, okay. Is it because I was getting out my key out of the computer, so yeah, sorry for that.
That's okay, Red.
But
All right.
How is the cat?
yeah, he's awake. Just call it that way. Awake.
If he's awake, that means he's being a little bastard.
How big is Aston?
Yes,
now?
he's been a well, he's still a kitty.
He's
Like,
going to be huge. He's a
5
Maine
months.
Coon, right?
Yeah, he's a Maine Coon.
Yeah, he's going to be
He's-
huge when he's fully grown.
One day we're going to watch
Yep.
Red's live stream and find Aston in the background bench pressing Red above his head. You're like, guys, help me! or Aston's going to pop on stream and be like, Red's in the cupboard. I'm playing now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the thing with my kitty. But yeah, going back to the topic, I actually back then, before I met GTA, like back in the 2000s, I was playing the driver games, and it was that was like the best shit ever. Like
Yes,
back
Red.
then, and it's like, yeah, let's play Driver and Driver 2. But later on, I got my PS2. And I actually went up with Vice City and San Andreas. So it was like, yeah, that's groundbreaking. And after that disaster of Driver 3 that we don't gonna mention anymore, yeah, it's that actually changed a lot of like the perspective and all that. It was something. No, it's not gonna life-changing stuff, but yeah, it kind of gave them a new perspective of how open world games are, and yeah, something different besides my typical racing games and Need for Speeds and all that. That was that thing. But Yeah, like I grew up with it pretty much with Driver Unknown, but later on with Vice City, and after a while San Andreas. Well, my favorite all the times is going to be GTA 4, but that's another topic for another day. But
Same
yeah,
here.
that's
Mhm.
yeah, GTA 4 the best. Sorry.
Don't apologize to me, man. I mean, technically, Vice City is GTA 4, but we'll not get bogged down by that. It was the fourth release,
Yeah.
you know? So if you're saying GTA 4 is good, all I'm hearing is Vice City's good. So I'm like, yep, all right. I'll take it.
Well, actually,
Don't paint me as that guy, all right? I'm just...
You know, on that bombshell, technically GTA 6 is already fucking out. It came out in 2008.
Yeah, GTA 6 has been out for a long time if you want to count each game. And especially if you want to count, you know, GTA Advanced, Chinatown Wars, and stuff like that, and the
God.
expansions and stuff.
And even the DLCs as well.
I think I counted the other day. I think there's overall 14 separate GTA games,
Yeah.
and then
Oh
obviously there's
my
the
God.
redone versions for the different consoles. So if you counted GTA 5 3 times for each generation of consoles, then there'd be 15 GTA games altogether. But we're not going to count those. It was just single games and, you know, expansion packs. Then I think there's 12 altogether. Don't quote me on that, and don't leave a comment about how stupid I am. All right, you already know. If you know who I am, you know I'm dumb. But yeah, go
Coming
get
soon, GTA 16, according
It is. It's coming soon. It's
16.
GTA 16. But don't say this to Mr. Boss for the win. He'll make a 5-hour video about
yeah,
it.
let's not.
Yeah,
Yes.
let's not.
Look,
Oh,
come on.
Lord.
GTA 16 coming soon. Not in this life, maybe in the other century.
Oh, fuck's
That's
sake.
why I'm getting cryogenically frozen so I can be alive for GTA 6. Unfreeze me when GTA 6 is out, damn it!
Right, Walt Disney.
Hello, Michael. This is the age 2122. The GTA 6 comes out today, so
It'll
there
be
you go.
like,
Have your copy.
It'll be like the episode of South Park where Cartman freezes himself just to get a Nintendo Wii, and he ends up centuries in the future.
Oh,
Yeah, that's what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
I'm going to wake up in centuries from now, and I'm going to be like, so GTA 6 is out? They're going to be like, yeah, look at this cool thing here. It's the Oppressor Mark 3. Fucking freeze me again. Put me back in the freezer, damn it. I don't want this shit.
But sir, cancer has been cured, and we developed we basically are immune to everything. No,
Cancer has
I
not
go
been cured.
back-
You're letting people ride around on a motorcycle and destroy my cargo. Give me back death, please. I want it.
I want to wake up 1,000 years later. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just leave me in the bin, dude. I
And
don't
by the
care.
time you wake up, there'll be nothing left but ruins.
No, you know
Yeah.
what will be left? It'll be GB skeleton sat there still waiting to win one game of chess against Riley.
It'll happen one day.
It'll
Okay,
just
probably
be the cockroaches
not.
moving pieces around on his board.
Yeah.
Like a Fallout.
Yeah, there's been a whole
Fallout
thing.
4 to be.
GB skeleton is sat there with his chessboard, and the cockroaches are moving the pieces for him because he's completely
Yeah,
inanimate now.
Yeah.
The red roaches are like, oh, there is GBs trying to win.
And
He's
by
still
then-
trying to beat
God.
Riley.
Yeah. And by then, my voice sounds like Skeletor. Ha ha, Riley, I finally won chess.
That's gonna be, "Ah, what do you think of that, Riley?
Oh, Lord.
Oh dear me, that I don't know why, but that made me laugh far more than it should have, gentlemen. I hope it made everyone in the
Yeah.
watching this laugh as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Jeez,
Oh,
everyone's
goodness
picturing
gracious
GB
me.
now at the end of the apocalypse, still waiting to win chess. Everyone's going to picture that image vividly now.
I think
Oh,
I actually have
God.
a photo where I did something like that because I have like one of those fake Halloween skulls. Like it was for something similar. Still waiting for something. I did it a while back.
Oh,
so-
I remember.
yeah. If I remember,
It was like
I'll also post that
week or
in
some
the
shit.
video.
Yes, yes, please do. That would be brilliant.
God.
But I guess it's my turn to talk about the OG trilogy, and I'm gonna go in a different direction than Yuji did because obviously we both started off with the original top-down. But my experience was a lot more favorable because I guess I was in high school, small town I grew up in. I wasn't exactly from there, and I felt like kind of an outsider. I had some friends there though, and a lot of times instead of going out partying with everyone else, all the other stupid groups, we would go over to one of our friends' houses that had the OG PS1, and we'd play 2 games. One would be Gran Turismo. I think they had a few other games, but they had the original Gran Turismo, which was amazing. I sucked at it, by the way, but it looked amazing for its time. And they also had the original top-down GTA. And I think the reason why I enjoyed it so much is because of the fact my friends and I would take turns. Each of us would play the game and carry out as much destruction and mayhem as we could till we were killed, and then we would pass the controller. And from that point, I grew a love and affection with GTA. I love the fact that it was a game that, unlike some other games in the past, like Mario, Zelda, etc., you mostly played the good guy. You played the hero, trying to take down the villain. Whereas in GTA, you basically were the villain. And I always thought that was an amazing spin in a video game. And at the time, I was also playing Mario 64, Zelda Ocarina of Time, because I'm a huge Zelda fan, from the original Zelda to Ocarina, all the way up to Breath of the Wild. And I always imagined what would a 3D GTA look like. A few years later, of course, we got GTA 3. And I remember stumbling across the gaming magazines. I think it was the summer of 2021. 2001, 20 years ago. Damn.
2021. Yeah,
I meant 2001, okay? Ancient times. And I remember going to a gaming store, and I was just looking through a gaming magazine, and I saw this whole artwork and this interview over GTA 3. And it said it was coming in the fall of 2001. And I saw the photos. I'm like, wow, this looks amazing. This looks exactly like how I had imagined a GTA game in 3D would be. And I was hooked ever since. I got it when it came out in October. And after a sad, tragic event that had historical significance in September, I won't talk about that, obviously. But yeah, I love the original trilogy. I had a blast playing through GTA 3 the first time. And I think whenever the same thing happened with Vice City, it was similar. The gaming magazines back then, they had this interview with Rockstar Games and the photos of what Vice City was going to look like and how beautiful the water was. And I was like, wow, this looks even better than GTA 3. And whenever I got that game, and I was like, this is better than GTA 3 in every single way. And I absolutely adored GTA 3. And then, of course, San Andreas came out, and then Rockstar took it to the next level with San Andreas. So, like with you guys, the GTA original trilogy, 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, has a very, very special place in my heart. Even though the very first GTA game I played was the top-down, the trilogy that sits at the top of the mountain when it comes to the greatest GTA games of all time. But GTA 4 is definitely a contender.
Yeah. And I'll agree with the GTA 1 thing. That was my first GTA game. But I think the experience didn't stick with me as much as it did when I picked up the original trilogy. And for those of you who want to feel old, by the way, this year is the 25th anniversary of the first GTA.
It is. That's true.
Yeah. 28th of November, 1997. Or was it the 29th of November? I'm not sure. It was 28th or 29th.
I think so. Yeah. It was a long time.
But yeah. It's do you know what I mean? It's amazing how the whole concept of Grand Theft Auto started from a bug. That was it, It was a bug in a game that they were making, and something to do with the cops being more aggressive than before or something like that. And that became GTA. And now it's a game that, yes, we lampoon quite a lot these days because of the state of it. But it's a game that fondly has a place in each one of our hearts in terms of, well, not particularly the game itself, but just the original trilogy like we're talking about. That seems to have a special place in all of our hearts in terms of music, in terms of culture, in terms of everything about it. I think, the memories for GT, you'd be hard pressed to find someone who didn't enjoy the original trilogy if they played it. It's one of those games that's very rarely going to be voted down by it, I'd say.
That's true.
The nostalgia, man. Nostalgia is a hell of a drug. It really is. If you could bottle that stuff up and sell it, man, you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah. Well, that's why Nintendo is billionaire. How many?
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah, how many times can we re-release the same game over and over again and see how many people enjoy it? Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's something that the entertainment industry across the board, from video games to TV shows and movies, have taken full advantage of member berries, and they've made billions upon billions of dollars. Even though sometimes they actually come out with some good remakes and remasters, most of the time, to be honest, it's trash, including the Defective Edition.
Yes, definitely.
God. How to piss off your fans in one go.
What a dumpster fire, dude. I knew there was going to be trouble as soon as they gave the gig to War Drum. As soon as they gave the gig to those guys, you knew this tiny little studio, just, you know what I mean? Rockstar have just said, here's some money, do this. And this tiny little studio had the manpower nor the intelligence to be able to do it properly. I'm sorry if that's mean, but that's just the truth. These should be, the original trilogy should have been looked at as a piece of history. It should have been looked at as something that we have to guard delicately, not just hand willy-nilly to a bunch of sweaty college kids who just decided that they want to do computer programming. I'm furious by it. I'm absolutely furious by it. Nothing War Drum has done has ever decently turned out, properly. So.
The thing is, I kind of like playing buggy games. I think they are laughable. That's why,
That's why we played San Andreas multiplayer, isn't it, Red?
Yeah, that's why San Andreas multiplayer. Well, GTA Online on PS4 does buggy as hell. Fucking Fast and Furious Crossroads. I'm trying to get a copy, and GB helped me out.
Yeah, we haven't been able to find one.
Fun.
Oh no!
Buggy games are fun because they're so glitchy and so stupid that sometimes that's basically the whole thing. But for me to kind of actually wanting to play San Andreas Definitive Edition is because it's not for the nostalgia. It's not because CJ. It's for the bugs. I just want to see how broken that stupid board is.
Yep.
And how miserable it is. Like I saw a few clips, including my friend GB, that actually this hilarious one that is just this car is spinning just out of control, and he just throws him out of the fucking map. Yeah. Like that's why I love those buggy games. I'm not saying that the San Andreas Definitive Edition is good, not at all. It's shit. But how the broken state that is right now is what makes it hilarious, in my opinion, of course.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I feel like the one that got it the worst was San Andreas. Like, the best one, ironically, is 3. I think that they had got most of the work done on 3. They had probably a good percentage of the work done on Vice City. Still, that one has low-res issues as well, especially if you get, like, in a helicopter or a plane. But
oh, my God, yeah.
The demaster that got it the worst was San Andreas. And yeah, I mean, we can give blame to Grove Street, some of that blame, but most of the blame, in my opinion, I've mentioned this before, goes to Rockstar for not doing it in-house and for Take-Two for rushing this product onto the GTA fans who were so quick to buy it out of trust because of previous incarnations and brands and quality. A lot of us were unfortunately duped. This thing known as the Defective Edition was not ready. And it's pretty obvious that it was probably not going to come out until sometime this year because that November 11th spot was originally going to go to the Milked Edition. But as you all know, the Milked Edition got pushed to March. And we see how well that went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you're absolutely right.
Just because, we have a fucking chip shortage, and it's like, okay, and Rockstar in their divine minds is like, well, we gotta wait a few months until a few more pals get their hands on a Series S or a Series X or a PS5, and see how it goes. Meanwhile, just release the Definitive Edition and see how it goes. Well, we knew already how that went up, but I don't know. Like, it's such an unfortunate event. Like, I laugh at seeing the models of
they're awful.
Of CJ, and they are goofy as hell. They're like how the proportions, how bad they are. But remember, Grove Street Games is hiring. Well, they blocked me on Twitter, but they are hiring. So,
it's sad, isn't it? What they've done is just ruined a fucking a beautiful memory that we all had. And yes, we can go back and play the original trilogy all we want, but for some kids who grow up, they're going to be like, so this was the original trilogy, that this was the Vice City, GTA 3, and San Andreas. This was what my parents talked about. This is bullshit. And you know what I mean? It's eventually the original trilogy are going to be forgotten about, and
people can't even buy them anymore.
Yeah, you can't buy them anymore.
Yeah, I mean, the closest thing to buying a physical version of them now is like you got to look for a PS2 copy or something.
Yeah,
and good luck finding
Which is what I recommend you do, by the way. For those of you who are watching and are interested in playing the original trilogy, just don't do it anywhere else. Go and get yourself an old PlayStation 2 Don't even get the Xbox version. The Xbox version was garbage.
Yeah, well, good luck getting a PS2. I was trying to get one for Riley's 1-year anniversary, and I still haven't been able to find a decent one.
You should have said I've got a silver Fat Boy sat right here.
Nice.
Silver Fat one with the original silver controllers and silver memory card to go with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I still have mine. The one.
I regret. I don't know if I sold my PS2 or I gave it to a friend. I probably gave it to somebody after I upgraded to like a 360. But that's something I always would do. Like someone else that doesn't have a console that wants one, I'm like, okay, here you go. But yeah, I really wish that I still had my PS2 because there were some great games on there, including the original Trilogy, 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And it is heartbreaking that you have a company who was basically built because of those 3 games. I mean, yeah, they weren't the first GTA games. We established that. But without 3, Vice City, San Andreas' success, Rockstar wouldn't have become the largest, most successful studio in the world. And the way that those games are treated by handing them over to a mobile studio with 24 people at the most to work on is insulting. That should have been done in-house at Rockstar Games. And I know they always talk about, well, they went with the cartoon effect because that's the way the original games were. I'm like, no, that's just the way they were graphically. They could have upgraded them.
Something they went for, do you know what I mean? They didn't purposely make it cartoonish. That was just the graphics being used to their absolute limit. And I just checked. There is only 5 people who work at Grove Street Games.
Only 5.
5 people.
Yeah,
on
only
Wikipedia,
5.
It says there's 5 people right now working there. That's it.
Damn.
But
that
Mike,
pretty much adds up, doesn't it?
17 other people got kicked out. I'm
Moved on
guessing.
to better things.
Yeah, basically.
Failing upward.
But Mike,
Yeah, I know. Talk about
you
out
can
the
be
frying
six.
pan. This time you did well, didn't you, by leaving that absolute dumpster
yeah,
fire and sinking
but
ship.
you know, it can be 6 because they're hiring now. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
can be
yeah,
part
I mean,
of
they're
those
hiring.
good games. Yeah, you can be part of like right now. Everyone here can just go and apply to
Snake
work
Freezer,
on
please
those
go and get a
games.
job at Grove Street Games. You'll do better than anybody else, I guarantee it.
They'll just tell everyone
Well-
not to be stupid game designers. That's all they'll do.
Well,
Not
their HQ
by the
is
game
in Florida.
designers.
You will.
Their HQ is in Florida, so I don't know if Mr. Slowly is gonna feel the heat there.
Yeah. He doesn't do travel.
He's gonna melt.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
He's gonna melt.
He's gonna melt.
His beard will just fall off.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. But it's sad because I saw the potential in the Defective Edition. I mean, when you play through them, somewhere deep down inside, the original game is there for 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. And you could envision, like we were just talking about, a fully realized like remake, remaster of those games, worthy of the original trilogy. But unfortunately, we didn't get that.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's very sad. I mean, they're clearly, like you said, GB, they're deep down the game is there. It's 100% still there because something as simple as certain funny quirks and funny bugs that were in the original games have been left in, so that the spirit and the essence of the game is there, or they've been recreated in this. Like there's several different, just one example in GTA 3, there is you drive through the railway bridge, and when you get to the middle of 2 islands on the map, there's a car sticking through the ceiling. It's the mysterious parked car, and there's no reason for it to be there. It's sticking through the top of the railway tunnel, and that's kept there for the remastered, defective edition, should I say? Yeah, it's kept there. So the spirit and the essence is there. It's just been done either very hurriedly, or they've lost interest halfway through. That's what I feel like has happened. Because, like you said, the remaster of the third one was, decent enough. Albeit for me, it was a bit too bright and a bit too polished. I didn't like the fact that all the streets were flat tarmacked. They weren't. This was Liberty City or New York City in the 90s. You know what I mean? There were cracked streets. There was potholes everywhere, and that's the original game. That's what it had. It was dark and dingy. Now it's too bright and shiny.
Yeah, that's true.
I'll be honest. I mean, to be honest, like I think New York still looks like that today. Looking like a shithole.
Yeah, it probably does. I'd rather live in Liberty City than New York City, I have to say. For those of you who are from New York, I'm really, really sorry. Not for offending you, but that you live there.
Yeah, well, sorry you live there. What the fuck are you doing there? It's fucking expensive down there.
Are you all right? Yeah, you're literally just paying your entire life savings to live in a hole. Good job.
Well done.
But so you know what I mean about the whole GTA 3 thing about it looking too polished and too shiny now, right?
I agree with you.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
See, with Vice City, it doesn't make too much difference because they kept the color and the brightness. That was the big thing about Vice City. It was bright, it was colorful, it was majestic. So that's fine that they did that with the Defective Edition and they made it brighter or whatever. That was nice seeing the neon colors. But in GTA 3, it's not meant to be that shiny and pristine. Like, I get the whole idea of a remaster is remaster things, isn't it? To make things better, apparently, or make them look better. They didn't. Making something shiny that started off as nitty gritty and dirty does not make it better. Basically, what you're doing there is polishing a turd. It's still a turd underneath. You just polished it. So what's the point? Leave it as it was. All I would have asked for in the GTA 3 remake would have been possibly a little bit of graphical improvement in terms of the character's face, Claude's face and NPC faces, and then just maybe better controls, and that's it. Leave everything else as it was. You didn't need to dilly-dally. It was a case of them taking on too much and then not being able to fulfill the order. That's my...
Even doing one of those games would have been a tall order, but then... throwing it on Grove Street Games or Wardroom or whatever the hell they're going to be called in the future when they rebrand again, that was just ridiculous. Like, whose bright idea was it at Take-Two Games, whether it was freaking Sam Hauser or Strauss Zelnick, to hand over the remaster duties to this small studio? Like, what were you thinking? Could you imagine how much more money these clowns would have made if they would have actually been like, something? We should do this in-house at Rockstar. We have, 3,000-4,000 people across the world that work on our games, or GTA Online at this point, who knows? But assign a team to do the remasters in-house. Take as long as you need to take and get it right. They would have made way more money than what they got from the Defective Edition.
And I feel like even Rockstar would have probably struggled to get those 3 remastered out as quickly as Grove Street did. Do you know what I mean? That just goes to show that this was a huge rush job. Rockstar has thousands upon thousands of people who know what they're doing. Probably half the staff from the original trilogy are still there. You know what I mean? In terms of designers and art guys.
If I remember correctly, I think there were some articles saying about how much of a horrible development the game went through. Apparently it was in development hell for the longest time until 2021.
Yeah, I think that was down to COVID and
I think it was even in development long before COVID. I think 2019 or 18 or something.
It could have been working conditions though. There's been that rumor about Rockstar.
Yeah,
conditions for a while.
To be fair, a lot of as we mentioned earlier on the show, we talked about how bad Activision's working conditions is. Oh. Who knows how bad they are at Rockstar or any of their sister little studios? Who knows?
You're absolutely right. I think for the gaming industry as a whole, what needs to happen is Strauss Zelnick and Bobby Kotick need to have a fist fight where none of them are allowed to leave the arena alive.
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm putting my money on Strauss. Have you seen that boy?
Yeah.
He's built like a brick.
Yeah, he's an old outhouse, isn't he?
Yeah.
But still, I mean, they need to not be able to leave. Both of them need to just disappear, I think. Yeah. Give Sam Hauser the full reins.
No, fuck Sam Hauser. Fuck him. Kick him to the curb,
he'll bring Dan back. He'll bring Dan back.
No, will he? Will he? He hasn't done jack shit, dude. He recently left a freaking quote about the remaster for Max Payne. That's the last time I've ever heard from Sam Hauser in years. He doesn't do anything. He is a terrible leader. Whenever we had the Defective Trilogy disaster, did he come out and publicly apologize? No, it was a generic bog standard response from Rockstar Games. The guy has no leadership. He does not deserve to be in charge of that company, even if he is a founder.
It's since Dan left, I think. That's his brother. He's lost his partner in crime, so to speak, and I think he's probably lost his balls along with it.
I wouldn't really say partner in crime. I'd say more partner in slime now when it comes to Strauss.
Well, now he is. Look, we have had this discussion before where Rockstar lost their essence when Dan and Laszlo left. Do you know what I mean?
I'd say even far back with when Leslie got fired.
Yeah.
That was the first warning sign.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it's a sinking ship at that time, wasn't it? And yes,
was. The best way to describe it, when you mention sinking ship, Mike, it's kind of like the Titanic. Leslie getting fired was like the iceberg getting hitting the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
And, going forward, all the other, main heads, Dan and Laszlo just going, that was, parts of the ship just
Laszlo going broke my heart. Legitimately. As a GTA fan, Laszlo leaving.
Oh, God.
For the reasons he left as well. He left to look after his sister who was dying.
And his dad.
It's understandable. Yeah.
And his dad, and it broke my heart to see that this man here, he was in charge of the entire radio station scripting and development and stuff.
Yeah.
He was he was those 3 games' essence.
And
you know.
don't forget, like, not only did he help with the radio music, I think he even helped with like the scores as well.
Yeah, he did a lot of work.
Yeah, he helped with the writing too for some of the GTAs, including Red Dead Redemption 2, along with Dan Houser.
Yep.
Yeah.
Honestly, that was the essence of what I would see. I mean, they should have made Laszlo the public face of Rockstar, if I'm honest, like years ago. You know what I mean? Because he was never really looked upon as favorable by anybody who's a pseudo Rockstar fan. But we true Rockstar people know Laszlo was the element, and when he went, things started to die.
I'll say this: that a lot of people only really know of Laszlo nowadays just because of his cameos in GTA 5. You know, because he was in a few missions, and he was
sad,
in like the nightclub update as
Don't
well.
you tattoo a penis on him as well?
Oh yeah, you tattoo a cock on him, and you.
That's
give him a few
fucking brilliant.
piercings.
Why didn't I think of that before? That's hilarious. That is. I would do that to Snake Freezer. I'd pin him down and tattoo a cock on him. 100%.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
you get two gotta just do that.
Sorry, today's Prickcast has been sponsored by Snake Freezer being terrorised. I do apologise.
Of course.
That's so
Of course,
bad. Literally,
mate.
all we've done is bully the man. We're going to raid his minibar. We're going to scam him at Uno or Monopoly.
Yeah.
I'm going to pin him down and tattoo a cock on him. What a bloody hell.
Oh,
I'm
poor
going
man.
to jail.
You do realise, Mike, he's going to make a best man speech at your wedding.
I know. I keep forgetting about that.
Oof.
I hope he
Oh,
doesn't listen
fuck.
to this now. Oh, shit.
Well, it's just like we did with last week's compensation when we gave Fat a plug and a shout out in the description. So we'll do the same for you, Snake. We'll put your channel linked below as well.
Hell yeah. He deserves it. He's a good man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But any final thoughts regarding the original trilogy?
We talked about
yes.
it too much, so
Yeah.
I'm
Just
fine with that.
sayonara, old friend, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that one day, like maybe one day Sam Houser will come to his senses and maybe they'll bring back Dan if Dan hasn't just completely done with him and doing his own thing. I would like to see Leslie come back. I would love to see Laszlo come back like you guys were talking about, because I was in radio, and I learned a lot about Laszlo, from his own radio career. And I always looked up to him. I saw him as more than just the guy on Chatterbox, even though that was my favorite station in GTA 3. And then, of course, he was the DJ on V-Rock. And,
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, I mean, there's so much more to Laszlo than his GTA character. And it's unfortunate that he's gone, Dan's gone, Leslie Benzi's gone, and several other people that were once part of what made Rockstar awesome. But I guess there's always a chance for a redemption, so to speak, but who knows?
If there was ever a return of those 3 particular characters, you better believe that the stock in Rockstar, or in Take-Two at least, would shoot through the fucking ceiling. 100%.
Yeah.
It would. Because people would know whatever came out of Rockstar next would be gold.
Yeah. And even if people come and go, you could still bring in good people to make a great game and great stories. But the problem we have here is the way Rockstar's been ran. And yeah, I do cast blame on Sam Houser for incompetence, for not being a true leader like he should be. When you're president of a company, you have to be the face of that company. You have to be the one that stands up there whenever everyone's angry at you and say, hey, we messed up, we made a mistake. Like the guy at CD Projekt Red over a year ago, he stood up and he publicly apologized for everybody for the disastrous launch of, Cyberpunk. Why can't Sam Houser do the same thing? Why is it always Strauss Zelnick, who's part of the publishing department at Take-Two? Why is he the face of Rockstar Games? I thought these were 2 separate entities, but no, they're not anymore. They're basically one and the same, and that's why I call them Take-Two Games.
Yeah, that's true.
I gotta admit, I do like the little the image you made, like where you replaced the Rockstar game logo with like a Take-Two thing. I thought that was pretty funny. Like, when did you first debut that little symbol? Was it the GTA
about a month
Plus
ago,
April
I think. Yeah, I was, because I've always liked to dabble in logos, even though I'm not the best at it.
I remember watching it in that April Fool's vid, and I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, man!" Oh lord!
Yeah, and one day I was just fucking around because I've seen someone do like the L-Star logo for Rockstar, and I was just thinking, nah, I want to do something else. What about if it was just Take-Two Games instead of Rockstar Games? And so I just combined both their logos, and then it just serendipitously worked out, And that's all I really did was just mix the 2 logos together.
Brilliant.
I thought it was funny.
But I think now's a good time to segue into the Prickcast before we wrap up. So what we're going to do is at the end of every Prickcast, we're going to look through the comments section as well as Mike's Discord and read over a few select mail from the Prickmail. And that's what we're going to start off with over on Mike's Discord.
Okay, Kane, do you want to attack maybe one of just pick one of those specific questions and field that one? I think there's one there that might be sort of catered to you, I suspect.
Right, let's have a little Gucci gander. Oh, look! A friend of ours, he sent a lovely message to us. It's the guy we mentioned earlier, Mr. Slow. Fucking hell, we might as well just call this the Slow Chronicles, because that's all we're doing. We're talking about Slowly. Mr. Slowly asked us a question, and it was, would you play a game like Quake 4?
Can I jib in with that straight away? Because he knows I'm going to
Sure.
say something, so...
Go on,
Mr.
then.
Slowly, what do you mean a game like Quake 4? Do you mean actual Quake 4 or a game that's similar to Quake 4 but comes from Wishdots?
Fucking hell. I don't even know what that game's about.
I know what Quake 4 is, but what does he mean by a game like Quake 4?
I want to know what Quake 4 is.
Does he
I've
mean
never
like an
heard of it.
FPS sort of platformer game? That's what Quake 4 basically is.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of like, just imagine Duke Nukem, but not as fun. It's made by Activision, so, it's going to be pretty shit.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of Halo and Duke Nukem. But, I mean, that's just my opinion. No, probably not. Slowly, I can't speak for the rest of the chums here, but no.
There are some games that I kind of like that I like, SPSs and sort of platforming. Like, y'all know CS:GO, right? I think in the last episode we were talking about like the markets of CS:GO and NFTs in the last episode. I remember there was a mode that my brother told me about in CS:GO, which is like surfing, kind of. It's basically where you would have like a knife or a pistol or whatever, and you would just have to try and use the knife to get like stay in the air or some shit while you just glide around the little like slidey area. It's really hard to describe it. I remember like back in 2016 especially, you would see channels like Leafy is Here, Pyrocynical and all that. They would have surf gameplay in their background while they would talk about, I don't know, some cringe kid talking about Roblox or some shit. I remember seeing CS:GO like a lot back in the day on 2016 YouTube. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing Surf, like CS:GO Surf, but I don't know. I don't know about Quake 4. I don't really know that much about that.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think you fielded that one. No, none of us want to play Quake 4, Mr. Slowly. I think that's one of those games that he's probably got thousands of copies of, and he's hoping that someone will take them off his hands.
Oh, God.
Please, God damn it, I don't want to play this anymore. Take it. Also in the Prickmail section of my Discord, so Pickle has asked, well, we already kind of... Actually, we haven't covered this. You guys kind of covered it in the first episode, but I'll read it anyway. He says, what are your current thoughts on the expanded and enhanced edition?
You can give your opinion if you want, Mike, because we gave our opinion in the last episode. You can go first.
Oh, well, I got to tell you, man, I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. The rumors about possibly having some sort of connection to Liberty City are fun. That sounds nice. For one reason only, I'm hoping that the swing glitch is still if it isn't, however, I'm just going to approach this with the exact same enthusiasm I've approached everything Rockstar has done in the last 10 years, and that's about it. Yeah. I'm not really too particularly interested in the expanded and enhanced edition. I'm not going to buy a new console for it. Damn fucking straight, not. No, 100% not really that interested in it, to be quite honest with you. Nothing's changed. Yes, it looks smoother. Yes, you get some cool little additions, but is it really worth a whole entire build-up and resale of a...
That's the thing. Game? I agree. It's a good game, but that's because it's GTA 5. It's just looking a little bit nicer. I don't think... I think we all agree it shouldn't have been sold for, who knows how much for a third fucking time. At least give us a free next-gen upgrade, because Elden Ring gets a free next-gen upgrade, Cyberpunk's got a free next-gen upgrade, Lego Star Wars has got a free next-gen upgrade, even fucking Vanguard has a free next-gen upgrade. Well, not really. I mean, I guess it's like $5 or some shit, but still, it's not as much as, what Rockstar is asking for,
You're
I
right.
don't know. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's a bit silly, and also GTA Plus. We mentioned that in the last episode as well. I still think that's a dumb
Yep.
idea.
Well, that's a good question, Mike. Your thoughts on GTA Plus?
Okay. So, I mean, I have mentioned this once or twice to other people. I think the concept is a good idea. Not necessarily the execution of what you get for it, but I think the idea of paying a small subscription fee and getting shit that you wouldn't be able to get any other way, I kind of like that idea. I think that, not just from a, because I'm a Jew, and it's a business standpoint, and it's, yes, we're going to make lots of money. No, it's not that. It's purely because I think that makes people work harder. That'll make the company work harder to give people better shit if they have to pay for it regularly. Otherwise, it's just going to cause a complete uproar. People are going to get really mad and stuff. So possibly the potential of there being good things involved with the GTA Plus, it was there, but I think essentially when all you're getting is $500,000 in a car.
and a frog T-shirt as well.
Yeah, it's not that great. I'd pay $5.99 just to get a T-shirt that says I completed Vice City and all I got was this lousy T-shirt, like what you get from the original Vice City. When
I wouldn't mind like classic callback T-shirts that would be included.
We had some radio station ones a while ago. We had V-Rock and Flash FM and stuff.
Oh yeah. I've got
nice.
a couple of them. Like I think I got Rose FM as well. I've got
K-Rose from San
K-Rose, yeah, K-Rose,
K-Jar. If they gave us exclusive shit, that would be cool, It's not exclusive, really. I mean, a livery is not. If we got different things that were a throwback to maybe a fucking Manhunt T-shirt or a Max Payne T-shirt or, something kind of cool that you're not going to... Yeah, something to do with Red Dead maybe as well.
Like, I mean, maybe they could get like Arthur or John's hat. That would be nice.
Exactly. Just to have something that seems like it might be worth paying that money for. Because right now, all you're getting is some money that, let's be honest, you could dupe 2 cars with and make, or do a KO. Sorry, I'm not doing... Just you do illegal things. Definitely not. We don't endorse that here. Or it's just a car. There's nothing spectacular that says.
It's not even a new car.
Yeah, it's an old car. You just
with
get
a next gen upgrade. That's really it.
Yeah.
So what they should do really is, if people are willing to shell out that money, make sure that there is a decent incentive to shell out that money. It could be something. Even I had this idea a while ago when I first heard of GTA Plus. I would pay a monthly fee to get classic GTA radio stations available when I get in a car. I know it doesn't sound great to you guys, but to me it does.
I don't know. I mean, my counter would be to that is, I mean, you could just put on Spotify or SoundCloud to listen to those classic music.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. But what if you don't want to sit here with earphones in while you're enjoying a video game and listen?
That's a good point.
I understand that, but I mean, most people nowadays are wearing headphones or earphones when gaming. I
guess.
I don't know.
I don't know, man. It's.
Yeah, I don't mind them putting something that's like quote unquote unique, even though I do think it kind of screws over the rest of the community. But one thing I hope there needs to be a line that's never crossed, and unfortunately they will probably cross it, is a weapon or a weaponized vehicle that's Game Plus exclusive. That's that is pay to win if there isn't already pay to win in the game already. And that's something they should never, ever have in GTA Plus. If it's a unique car from like the GTA 4 or from the original trilogy that has yet to be added to GTA Online, that's one thing, but no weapons.
Yeah, 100%. If we could get, you just said it there, GB. If we could get maybe a classic vehicle for the money that we've spent every month, that would be pretty amazing. You've said before you wanted the Stinger, the Yakuza Stinger original in the game, right? I would love that. The Mafia Sentinel.
Yes.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, dude, vehicles that are old school vehicles. It wouldn't take much to model one, right? You could probably use an existing model and then just change a few of the aesthetics.
I mean, think about it. Like, people on PC, they've already done that, and it's probably just one guy working on half those mods.
Exactly. So if it's possible for some little modder in his basement to do it, then I'm sure Rockstar probably.
Exactly.
And I would happily pay Rockstar for the privilege of having exclusive vehicles every month. But then you get the give cars to friends community coming in and going, well, one of us will pay for it and we'll give it to everyone else.
That'll happen most likely.
It will, won't it?
Yeah.
Hamid will have it on low grips this week. Do you know what I mean? If the Mafia Sentinel came out now, Hamid would have it on low grips with fucking scuba diving flippers sticking out of front wheels or something.
Now
like
you
that.
lads actually mentioned like the give cars friends community. I remember the week that the GTA Plus was launched, I saw a live stream. I think it was your friend Arrested in Avenger. I think he was doing a stream where he was giving away that Defective 8, with the HSW thing. I think I remember seeing him doing a stream on that. Or I could be wrong. It could be somebody else.
Yeah, you probably
I think
did,
it was him.
Yeah.
So, see, I mean, it's easy as that.
Whoever paid that first month's fee of GTA Plus basically could have gone to Arrested in My Adventure and got
Oh, Lord.
Well,
Oh, thank you very much, Rockstar. Jesus.
and just like we recapped from like last week, Bob the Builder even pointed out the fact that it was 9 days between GTA Plus and when the HSW variant of the Devastate 8 came out for everybody else. So good job. You paid $6 to have a car 9 days before everyone else did.
Yay! Well done, guys. Give yourselves a pat on the back. Good
That's
job.
more days than planets in the solar system. I'm so funny.
So we do have one more Prickcast we're going to go over. It's in the comment section. By the way, we will do more Prickmail from the comment sections of future Prickcasts. Just don't say, hey, amazing. I mean, we do appreciate the love that we're getting from all of you. But if you actually want to be included in the Prickmail going forward, you have to actually throw something in there. So this comes from Kari, our boy Kari. He said, Max Payne 1 and 2 are fun, but challenging games. Definitely not those who'd rage quit easily. Definitely recommend playing 2 as it concludes the Max Payne story. Max Payne 3, yeah, the story has nothing to do with anything whatsoever since Max Payne 2 wrapped everything up. Kind of shits on Max Payne 2's ending without getting into spoilers, but the gameplay still is good fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sums it up. But I never played one, so.
Same here. I've never played. In fact, I've never played the Max Payne games at all. I've
played
seen
the first
them.
one, that was it.
I remember I watched somebody streaming it a while back, but it just never really interested me. And you know what? I'm assuming a lot of you guys have already played it. I'm not sure. Red, did you play it?
What?
Max Payne, like any of them.
I told you, I never played.
Oh, okay. So you're in the same club as me.
Yeah.
Hells yeah. So
The only one that I haven't played is Max Payne 2.
yeah, so I'm assuming like everyone else in this call then has already played it.
I've only played 1. I never played 2 or 3.
I played 1. I didn't play 2 or 3.
So, you know what? I'm not too that is fan Debbie Dozy. More power to you. I mean, hell, when the remasters do release, I'm looking forward to watching, whether it be GB or UG streaming the games. I'm assuming you guys might stream them, But yeah, I mean,
Maybe.
I don't know. We don't know.
Why don't you do it?
No.
Why are you throwing it on us for?
On them. What the hell?
You have a channel.
Yeah, I would, but you see, GB, I play games I like.
Oh.
Well, don't knock it till you try it.
Yeah, you don't know, dude. You haven't.
Hey, that's my line.
Do you know what? I gotta say though.
People
lads,
said, listen here. People said I'd like Far Cry 4. Look how that ended.
Me and Red
Badly.
have had a conversation
Fucking
before
ended.
about the PS2 having the best games catalog of all time, and I think at some point in a future Prickcast, we could probably maybe go down our top 5, our personal top 5 games for PS2. I believe. I think that would be a really cool thing. People might want to listen to that. That might be quite fun.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That had the greatest catalog of games. Me and Red are on agreement. And then I was talking to Red about games he'd never heard of before, like Stuntman, and he was telling me about games I'd never heard of, and I was like, it's just a whole new learning thing. Just when you think the console you spent the most of your life with was the PlayStation 2, essentially, when you boil it down. It's got the greatest collection of games out there, so it might be nice in the future for people to look forward to that. Maybe possibly put in the comments their favorite games, PS2 era as well.
Yeah, looking forward for it.
That would be good.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it, unless there's anything else we need to bring up before we wrap up.
I'm pretty much, I'm sorted. I'm sitting on an incredibly full bladder. Right? So.
Oh, okay.
I didn't want to say I have got a bucket between my legs here, but I think you'll hear it on mic, so I'm going to wait.
Okay, well, I mean, you can step away real quick while I do say one thing real quick. One more thing I forgot about regarding the Prickmail. So we do appreciate everybody's love in the comment section, as well as Mike's Discord. If you want to leave comments for future Prickmails, feel free to do so. However, we're not going to select guests based off of self-plugging in the comment section. If you want to do that, that's fine. We're not going to stop you. but we're a long ways off from ever having guests. It's just us five are enough right now. In the future, we may have a sixth spot every now and then for a guest here and there, but it's going to be a guest that we all agree upon. It's going to be a unanimous decision. So for everyone that's, say, hey, can I be a guest one day? Maybe you will, maybe you want. No promises. We don't want to talk about that right now because there's five of us already, and at the moment, five's enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power
of five right now.
Completely.
I think we do pretty good, the five of us so far. It will be interesting in the future to have guests, but I think what we need to do is establish ourselves,
Yeah, I think give it a couple of episodes and then
as
eventually...
a fivesome.
Yeah.
And then we could possibly expand and have people in. But again, it would be just a feature thing, I think.
Yeah.
I think we're all in agreement there. The five of us, we're enough of a prick collection to satisfy anybody. So if you aren't happy with all five of us pricks, well, then you've not had your COVID jabs, first and foremost. And second of all,
Oh, God.
second of all, you don't know us. So it's fine.
But anyways, as always, we do appreciate everyone watching the Prickast. Thank you so much for the nearly 250 views for the first installment. That's amazing. We have at least 70 subscribers as of right now, so we're on our way to 100 over on the Prickast. And eventually, once we get 100, then we can actually get the URL thing for the YouTube channel, and that's awesome. So great start so far. Before we wrap up, guys, you want to plug your channels before we bounce?
Anyone going first?
Mike, you go first. That way you can go do what you got to do.
You've done this to me already 3 times in the bloody podcast now. Honest to God, I've had enough of this. You go first. I feel like it's a really mean version of ladies first, but you're just doing it to me. Damn it.
Oh my God.
Right, okay, so...
What if it's ladies first, then Mike, you can go first.
Oh, shut up.
Burn.
Venom!
Has anybody got a cold compress for that savage burn?
Fucking hell. We need some fucking...
And as I look at my crotch and say on that minute bombshell, I am the Gaming Jew, and my channel is basically just me yelling a lot at an old Dutchman. There's nothing else going on, really. I like to yell. Sometimes I may be compared to Jeremy Clarkson, sometimes not. I don't really particularly care. He has curly hair. I'm pretty sure he's Jewish. So, yeah, come to my channel, say hello. And if you don't, I don't particularly care. Definitely go and check out the rest of the guys' channels, though. These guys here.
All right, Red, what's going on over on your channel?
Well, my channel pretty much, just covering the Crew 2 mainly. I don't have any bigger plans for it. Maybe we'll go back to Gran Turismo 7, but I basically just ended all the cafe missions, so it's pretty much me grinding, and that's not very fun. But we're gonna see what is going on. I'm gonna see if I get Grid Legends and start playing it. But yeah, meanwhile, I don't know. Meanwhile, we just got the Crew 2 as usual. So if you like that type of content, especially racing and all that, you're more than welcome to subscribe.
Awesome. So, Kane, what are you up to?
At the moment, I've concluded the Lego Star Wars, Let's Play. For now. Who knows if I do the sequel trilogy? It's all up in the air. It's like in limbo at the moment. But I do stuff like GTA. I do a bit of Fortnite because Fortnite's, it's actually good now. Who would ever thought I'd say that? And also we're going to be coming back to the old of Resident Evil 7, returning to the swamps of Louisiana to finish off some business with the Baker family because there's 2 DLCs left and I want to see what, what's going on? What's happened since we've left? See what's happened. So that's what's going on my channel. Bit of Resi 7, and soon after we've done that, we're going to the village.
Ooh, the village.
Mm-hmm.
Well, say hi to a certain vampire for us.
I will. I will.
Uh-huh.
All right, so my channels, I have the main channel, and that's where I do all my video game stuff from Red Dead, GTA, some Zelda now. I'm going to do Zelda on Saturdays for a bit. And on Sundays, it's always Red Dead themed, whether it's Red Dead Redemption multiplayer with Yuji Outlaw, Belfast Camper, as well as some of our other friends on Sundays. And
He's not wrong.
Wow.
yeah, it's true. It's true. He's trying to get better at night camping. We're having, see, the more we nag Belfast about camping, the less inclined he's to do it. He'll still do a bit of camping here and there, but in order to help somebody
dear.
grow as a character, you have to point out their flaws. So eventually Belfast will stop camping. I doubt it, but maybe he'll camp less going forward. So Sundays, yeah, it's Red Dead themed, from Red Dead Redemption multiplayer to my Black Hat series. In my last episode of Black Hat, I don't know who found Black Hat 7, but it freaking blew up. I was not expecting that many views. And hey, I'll keep doing Black Hat because I enjoy doing it. It brings out I guess you could say the dark side of GP.
The dark side of the Force is a entity that some consider to be unnatural.
Something dark side.
Yes. So yeah, I'm definitely going to do Black Hat 8, Red Dead Redemption 2 in about a month from now, I guess, over on my channel, along with any other gaming topics, thoughts, videos, ideas, rants that I happen to cover. And of course, the GB Fang channel. Maybe I'll put a new video up there eventually, non-gaming related. That's what I do over there, like politics, trending topics, TV shows, movies, etc. I just haven't had an idea for something over there in a few weeks, so maybe there'll be a new video up there in the future. Maybe there won't be. We'll just have to wait and see. And the final channel I want to plug is my vlogs channel, where once a month at the end of the month, like coming up at the end of April, Riley and I will do a vlog, and we'll talk about what's happened in our lives and in entertainment, things that we've been watching, games we've been playing, etc. That's the vlogs channel. So check out all my channels. Check out Red's channel, along with Mike the Gaming Juice channel, Kane's channel. And I'm going to now pass the torch over to Mr. Yuji Outlaw. He's going to plug his channel, and guess what? He's also wrapping up the show. Take it away, Yuji.
Wait, what?
We're good at this, honestly, everybody. We're really good. Yeah.
All right, well, first of all, before I get the momentous opportunity of wrapping up the show,
No pressure.
basically over on my channel, I'm just basically stream whatever the hell I feel like, whether it's GTA Online, don't ask me why, or whether it's Red Dead, please don't ask me why about that, or Warzone, Assassin's Creed, Division, whatever the hell I'm in the mood for, I'll just stream it. So I guess if you want to just come over and just watch some Irish guy play video games, you just basically be a sarcastic asshole, you're more than welcome to subscribe. And I guess now that I have that opportunity, I guess that's it for this episode of the Prickast. So on behalf of myself, GB, Kane, Red the 8-Bit Dinosaur, and Mike the Gaming Jew, thank you all so much for watching. And I guess we'll see you all in episode 3.
You stupid pricks!